Alright, looks like we are live. Marty McFly, congratulations, you are first. Hello, everyone. Oh, fucking Muhammad Ajab was on Piers Morgan again? It's fucking weird how people give that guy a fucking platform. He debated the rabbi. That is probably going to be funny. Let's watch that.
Tonight on Piers Morgan Uncensored, Israel at War, the Uncensored Debate. Mohammed Hijab is a Muslim philosopher, scholar, and YouTuber whose first appearance on the show was viewed by more than 8 million people. Rabbi Shmuley Boteach has been called the most famous rabbi in America. He is the international best-selling author of Kosher Hate and The Israel Warrior. Both men are passionate, both men are influential, and they both have vehemently opposing views. Tonight, they go uncensored and head-to-head. We're bringing together two very opinionated, passionate, influential people, very opposing views, and we're going to have a proper debate, and we're going to see if somewhere there is perhaps more that we can agree on than we first imagined. So thank you for joining me, gentlemen. We tossed a coin before we came on air tonight, and actually you won the toss, and you said you want to go second.
I defer to my brother.
And the way this will work, Mohammed, we have 4 sections of this debate, and at the start of each one, you'll both get 1 minute uninterrupted to say what you want to say about each of the themed
this is gonna be
titles of each
stupid.
block. So you go first, and at the end of your minute, you'll hear a sound, and when you hear that,
I
you
know
end,
this is going to be
and then-
stupid. Let me see if Destiny's still live. I don't think he is. Oh, no, looks like he is.
I like.
Shit. Let me see if I can pop in. I wanted to talk to him about Kyle. God damn it.
How he cites these. In this other law site we read, there are like multiple competing like international naval standards. There's tons of legal professors that are making back and forth, and we even have 2 separate commissions. I'm sorry, hold on, 3. We had the first UN one said that it was illegal, the blockade was illegal. The second one disagreed and said it wasn't illegal. And now we have an Israeli, the Turkle Commission, that's also saying it's not illegal. I'm sure there might have been other.
And that's one of his main points of contention in this chapter.
Sure, but I'm just saying that if even the UN itself is conflicted on the legality of the blockade, it's incredibly dishonest, bordering on academic fraudulence for him to claim that it is widespread agreement that the blockade is illegal. That is not at all
Have
what
you
I
given
saw.
up on
And considering the
Spider-Man
fact that the
2?
UN sec-
Where did you get up to? Do you think it's even worse than the Miles Morales game?
It's definitely not worse than the Miles Morales game. Actually,
Where does it start?
It's the 3rd paragraph on the 4th chapter.
Consensus among human rights and humanitarian organizations. That's the one.
Hi VG.
Wait.
So did you hear the exciting news about George
his friend was
Santos?
the entire
I mean
race.
devastating for him, but exciting for us
Details
lol.
and he tries to hand wave that by saying the details of the massacre are in an important respect.
George
besides-
Santos.
Insane statement, but whatever. The consent, yeah, this sentence. The
Oh,
consensus
great.
among human rights and humanitarian organizations was-
Not run for re-election following the damning report from the House Ethics Committee. Sweet. He's a piece of crap. Honestly, he should be hung, drawn, and quartered.
The consensus, right? What? I'm curious.
We'll take a note on that and give him a pushback on that one.
House Ethics Committee will introduce a resolution to expel George Santos from Congress. That's great. Fuck George Santos. He's a piece of shit, dude.
Fuck. Sorry, hold on. Okay. I hate this guy. And I hate this guy. Okay.
Spider-Man 2 is definitely not worse than Miles Morales, and we actually got to a point in the game where, for the most part, most missions have been pretty fun. I think we're like roughly 50% through, maybe. But yeah, the biggest issue is just the pacing. The pacing in the first half of the game is just fucking horrible. Like, the mission structure is just so bad. But once you get through it, I'd say it's worth playing. But I haven't given up on it. Thanks for the donation, Prismo.
Hi, Twinkle VG.
Alright, we will sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star just for you, Corn Man. Ah, what the fuck? Alright, here we go. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. When the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines upon, then you show your little light. Twinkle, twinkle all the night. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Then the traveler in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. He could not see which way to go if you did not twinkle so. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Ugh. Well, thank you for that. Corn Man, hope you enjoyed my singing. Appreciate the donation, sir. Yo Vegan Donate Tellers, Mr. Streams last night. By any chance, did you hear about what Fierus said about you? If not, here it is. I don't know who Fierus is and about veganism. Fierus. TriStar Gym. Oh, that guy. 1735.
In Poatan, which was to be expected, but not much bigger. But still, I would still say slightly bigger than Poatan. What happened to my scheduled debate with Vegan Gains? You know what? I'll be honest with you. I don't like certain, like, I researched him a bit and I saw like he's very, he has a picture with himself with a knife on his throat. Like, I don't mind having a discussion with a vegan. I just find like he's a provocateur. He's gonna kind of like
a guy who practices martial arts is offended that there's a photo of me online where I'm holding a knife. Okay. Talk about being a little bit of a sensitive baby. That, to me, sounds like he's just afraid of debating me, and he's looking for whatever fucking excuse he can find. Like, give me a fucking break, dude.
Take our conversation and like, I don't know, like, I just didn't like the vibe he was giving me, like, he was just kind of like, I'm willing to talk to him again. Like, we emailed back and forth. We talked about finding a day. During that time I was traveling, so I told him I'll get back to him. But then when I kind of researched his videos, I find him to be a little bit, extreme, I just didn't like that picture of him holding a knife to his throat. I mean, am I going to sit down and have a conversation with a guy putting a knife to his throat? Like, I just found that to be absurd. So I kind of told myself,
am I going to have a debate where there's like videos of them choking somebody out? Like, what? You do martial arts.
I don't know much about this guy. So I was like, maybe he's gonna, I don't know, maybe he's gonna do something or say something ridiculous. Like, I want to interview a professional, somebody with, a friendly demeanor, who's not gonna come here and put a knife to his throat or say something crazy. I don't know much about the guy, so I just listened to one or two of his videos, and I saw that picture of him holding a knife to his throat, and I was like, what the hell is this guy doing? Why would you put a picture up of yourself like holding a blade to your throat? I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting, but for me, I was like, I don't know. Is the guy gonna go do something crazy violent, and he was on my show, and I'm gonna be like, hey, I don't know anything about the guy, and I had him on my show. I have a wrist issue, and my mom has carpal tunnel. Do you have any advice?
Hey, I saw the live stream you did the other day talking about not wanting to debate me because of a picture of me holding a knife. The context of that photo, I can't even remember. Can't remember the exact context of that photo, but I have a psychiatric assessment from a well-respected doctor stating that I am mentally sane and not a danger to myself or others. I guess I'll attach it for him. I think I have it still. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, hey, saw the live stream you did the other day talking about not wanting to debate me because of a picture of me holding a knife. Can't remember the exact context of that photo, but I have a psychiatric assessment from a well-respected doctor stating that I'm mentally sane and not a danger to myself or others, and I linked the report in this email if you care to read. Also, if you have a problem with people using knives to commit violence, then I don't know how you justify eating meat. Lol. But I'm still interested in doing the debate. Tell me when you have free time. There we go. Alright, sent him an email. Ugh.
I love the educational Islam video reacts. Do they use all the AI voices because they're worried about doxing? Also, did you ever watch Willie Mac debate Hassan? Willie is also releasing his last Hassan video tomorrow to cap off the saga, so maybe wait for that.
Yeah, it's probably to prevent doxing. Probably. I didn't see the Willie Mac debate with Hassan. Maybe we'll watch it tonight. Maybe, but yeah, if he's gonna do another video tomorrow, I might not. Thanks for that donation, though, Darth Putin.
How are you liking MW3? Also, are you going to react to the rabbi versus the Muslim fat ass?
We are gonna react to that debate. Modern Warfare 3, I'm liking it a little bit more now, since I unlocked more of the equipment. It still has huge problems, especially on PC. You can't disable crossplay, so you're stuck playing against stupid console babies that just auto-aim the fuck out of you, and it's irritating as shit. And I think they have some weird fucking system where if you're playing with a controller, the hitboxes change. I swear to fuck the hitboxes are stricter on console versus if you're using a mouse and keyboard. Because I've been shot at. The bullets clearly missed me, but I still died. And then when I shoot fucking stupid console babies, a lot of the time the bullets just whiz through them. So I don't know. But yeah, since I've unlocked some of the better weapons, I've been doing better. The time to kill in that game is way higher, so you really need better equipment to do well. So yeah, but I'm liking it a bit more, but yeah, the console baby thing is fucking annoying. I wish I could just play against other PC players. Thanks for the donation, though, Tool.
Thank you, VG. Whenever I hear you sing Twinkle, it brightens my day. It's the most beautiful voice I have ever heard, and it brings happiness to the world. We need a VG's holding. Let's make the world bright one more time, VG.
Well, thank you, Corn Man. I'm glad you appreciate my beautiful singing voice. Let us twinkle, twinkle again. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. When the blazing sun is gone, when he nothing shines upon, then you show your little light. Twinkle, twinkle all the night. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Then the traveler in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. He could not see which way to go if you did not twinkle so. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. There you go. Hope you enjoyed that, Corn Man. And 2124.
Think about Jiri doing neural visual training. Any truth to this? And you should debate Joey Carbstrong. He's vegan and good vibes. Okay, well, listen, guys, connect me with Joey Carbstrong. I have a lot of questions for vegans. I have a ton of questions. My number one question I want to ask for vegans, okay, and honestly, this is an honest question. And I would love a great answer to this, okay? How do you get enough protein in a day? If I want to hit 100 grams of protein as a vegan,
how do you get enough protein as a vegan? Yeah, gee, I don't know. I haven't quite figured that out yet myself. Yeah, it's just really hard. I still don't think I'm hitting my protein requirements as a vegan. Oh, dude. You ever heard of like seitan or some shit, bro?
Vegan. It's very difficult because you have to eat so many beans, lentils, and guys, I'm Lebanese. We love beans and lentils. I love high carb, low fat diets, and I wouldn't be vegan, okay? Don't get me wrong. I would always eat meat, but I'm good with eating meat once a month. I'm more than happy. I'll have a steak once a month, once every 2 weeks. I'm happy. Why? Because I'm a carb freak. I love carbs, guys. I'm a freak of carbs. I love.
Then, what exactly is the fucking problem? I am awaiting this guy's response. Yeah, because that was a bizarre excuse. It's funny, I literally have a mental health assessment. I had to get a psychiatric assessment for some legal issues. And when people call me crazy, I literally have a mental health report, made by a psychiatrist, a doctor. And it included a CT neuro brain report and an EEG study. So, no criminal history, blah, blah, blah. If you go to the very end of the document, I am unable to diagnose any mental illness in Mr. Burgess. He has some unusual perceptual experiences in the past and has a family history of schizophrenia. However, there are no indices that he suffers from that disorder. So, there you go. Ta-da!
Richard, I've always admired your intellect. I've always been kind of insecure about my own intelligence. Is there anything I can do to try to boost my IQ? Even by a few points?
I mean, IQ, I think when people say IQ, they just mean, can you become more intelligent? You can improve your brain's ability to perform certain tasks. So you can improve your memory, you can improve certain cognitive capabilities like recall, what's the term? It goes along with recall. It's whatever. So reading, doing memory tests and practicing things that require short and long-term memory, that will all help your ability to perform those tasks. So the best thing I could say you should do is just learn new things and try to read. Even recreational reading is a good thing. But thanks for the donation, Blue Balls. Hope that helps.
How do you deal with judgment of people eating animal products? I struggle sometimes even though I consumed animals products about a year ago. I feel like it's taking a toll on me sometimes.
I don't give two fucking shits what other people think of me, and neither should you, and I guess you just have to practice more. Not giving a fuck. What do you care what stupid dumb fuck meat eaters think of you? Like, why should you? They're pieces of shit. Thanks for the nation, though, Peeler. Hope that helps.
Chickpeas, hummus, lentils. I love, my favorite breakfast is what we call fool in Arabic. Fool. Guys, if you never had fool, it's a breakfast dish made of beans with olive oil and tomatoes diced and onions and spices, cumin. It's so good. It's so incredibly delicious. High in protein, low in fat, hearty breakfast. But here's the thing. You can't eat beans 3 times a day, guys. Not only are you going to be gassy.
You can't eat beans 3 times a day.
This dumbass Steve-O uploaded a video murdering a goldfish on camera. And this after claiming to supposedly be an animal rights advocate, has protested SeaWorld, etc. What an absolute piece of shit.
You're doing great.
Take pictures! Take pictures! Yeah.
PH.
Alrighty. Swallowed a goldfish, right? He's a piece of shit. I fucking hate Steve-O. He's a burnt out drug addict fucking loser. I can't stand him. Thanks for the donation though, Harry.
2 links. Watch this 1-minute anti-Jewish hate ad. Nazi replies basically saying Jews are reaping what they sowed. Elon says they're telling the truth.
Let me take a look. Cowards hiding behind the anonymity of the internet and posting Hitler was right. You got something you want to say? Why don't you say it to our faces?
I saw what you've been posting. Hitler was right. I didn't teach you that. You hide behind your screen, spewing all this hatred and ugliness. You got something you want to say? Get out of the truck and say it to their faces.
Not a bad ad. Imgur. Okay, Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of dialectical hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. What? I'm deeply disinterested in giving the tiniest shit now about Western Jewish populations, coming to the disturbing realization that those hordes of minorities that support flooding their country don't exactly like them too much. You want truth? Said to your face, there it is. You have said the actual truth, Elon Musk. What the fuck, dude? Yeah, bro, Elon Musk is a fucking Nazi, and that made no goddamn sense. Holy shit. What a fucking psycho, dude. That is insane.
You're going to be going to the bathroom 3, 4, 5 times a day. I would love to live off bread and hummus. I love bread and hummus.
So, first of all, you can eat beans 3 times a day without shitting yourself. 2, you do not need to eat beans 3 times a day.
Yes, I'm a Lebanese. I'm a typical Lebanese. What can I tell you? I love bread, hummus, olive oil. That stuff's all vegan. But if I ate those foods, my friends, I would be on the bathroom 10 times a day. I would have gas all day. That's why I eat chicken or red meat once a day about. Why? Because it slows down the fiber. It slows down.
I meant that I'm the one judging other people. I know it's hypocritical since I consumed animals products about a year ago. But I can't really help it. How do you cope?
I don't know exactly what the problem is. I'm not understanding the actual issue. So, don't know how to give you any kind of advice, but thanks for the donation, P. Peeler.
Going to the bathroom 20 times a day. I go to the bathroom maybe, not to gross anybody out here, but once or twice a day. I think it's plenty. But going to the bathroom 5-10 times a day and having gas, how do
Yeah, so that does not happen.
you live like that? How do you live like that? Now, the alternative is not to get that much protein.
So, again, you can eat protein powder, you can eat tofu, you can eat seitan, you can eat mock meats. You don't actually have to eat beans, and there's nothing about beans that makes you shit 10 times a day.
But how do you get protein from plants? It's a serious question. And don't say soy. Guys, don't tell me soy. I don't want to hear soy. I'm not taking soy. I'm not going to eat 1,000 pounds of soy. Okay? It's possible. So please, somebody, some expert in veganism, answer me this question. How could I get the protein I need without going to the bathroom 100 times a day and having gas nonstop and polluting the whole air around me?
Yeah, so easy solution. Eat protein powder, tofu, seitan, mock meats. Those are all protein sources that are relatively low in fiber.
Doubter in chat saying the Elon tweet isn't real. Considering I tried to search it and couldn't find it without going back through tweets replying to it, I thought you should show stream it's real.
Artist formerly known as Eric, Jewish community has been pushing, blah, blah, blah. And then, yeah, there's the Elon Musk tweet, and that's his real account. So, it is real. Elon Musk is, in fact, a Nazi. Thanks for that donation, though, Darth Putin. Well, I emailed him. Hopefully, we can do the debate soon.
And a Rabbi Shmuley gets his chance to...
Biru Christ donated $2. I think you may like this. Is this Finn's Arab cousin? I don't know why you think I'd like this. That's pretty weird. That's creepy and weird. It looks like she has a dog fetish. But thanks for the donation, Biru Christ.
Speak. So the first theme is a simple one. Are Hamas to blame? You have a minute, Mohammed, from now.
From one perspective, Hamas started the battle because obviously from October 7th, even they themselves title it Tufan al-Aqsa or the flooding of al-Aqsa. But from another perspective, if you really look at it from an international law perspective, we're talking about 1967, we're talking about Security Resolution 242, in which it is actually stated that Israel is in a belligerent state because they're occupying the West Bank, East Jerusalem and Gaza. And they have been, so therefore the war has been continual for a very long time according to international law. But let's remove Hamas from the situation altogether. Let's remove them. What do you...
Again, Palestinians could have agreed to a two-state solution.
You have the West Bank. And what do you have in the West Bank? You have 187 children who have been put in prisons. They have been put in prisons, according to B'Tselem, without charge. You have 44 children before October the 7th that have been killed before October the 7th in just 2023 alone. So if you remove Hamas from the equation, what you have the West Bank. You remove dominance from the equation, you have the West Bank, and what do you have? You have occupation, you have settlement.
Yeah, so every fucking time, there's this debate over Israel, Palestine, Gaza, they bring up the West Bank.
I see no problem with judging pieces of shit non-vegans. I wish that I could do it more, especially at my work. But I have bills to pay unfortunately, and HR would be coming down on me so fast. SMH, at least I can judge them if they're bigoted towards minorities.
Yeah. True that. Thanks for the donation though, Bend Over.
Settlement, which you condemned, rightfully so. You condemned that on your show. The settlement's there.
Okay. Rabbi Shmuley, 1 minute to respond.
Resolution 242 in the UN doesn't mention a single thing about aggression or aggressor. That is a total fabrication, and it speaks about disputed territories. But let's be clear. The occupier of Gaza is Hamas. They won an election in 2006, had a civil war with Mahmoud Abbas, took the Palestinian Authority officials, threw them off buildings, killed Muslims, killed Arabs. Mahmoud Abbas is afraid to go to Gaza. He's terrified of Hamas. He hasn't been there since 2007. And let's be clear, Hamas is an abomination to Islam. Sultan Salah al-Din, the greatest Muslim conqueror of all time, after whom the main artery in Gaza is named, he said that you have to allow all prisoners to be redeemed. He would never hold hostages. And remember, Islam is about fair treatment of prisoners of war. Hamas beheads.
When can I come in your bum hun gum cum mum bum hun yum cum sum pumalum? When can I come in your bum hun gum cum mum bum hun yum cum sum pumalum? When can I come in your bum hun gum cum mum bum hun yum cum sum pumalum? When can I come in tight black bum?
Maybe if you pay me enough PayPal buck. Thanks for the donation, Courtney. I don't know why the hell he's saying that. Islam is not about fair treatment of prisoners. That is bullshit.
Headed Thai non-Jewish workers. You asked in your last appearance here for real first-hand sources. I'm the first-hand source. I saw it in Kibbutz Alumim. They raped women. They had...
Biru Christ donate $2. Yeah, I know, right? What the fuck? I'm surprised that that woman was doing that. Like, what the fuck? Nico and his moron friends being retards like usual.
Pork, the parasites can never be burnt off. Even if you cook it, pigs don't sweat. So they keep all the toxins in. They eat the feces of other animals, so they get more toxins in. And they have a very rudimentary digestive system, so they don't take
none of that is true.
Toxins out. That's why the CDC says that whoever eats pork has a higher chance of cancer than those that don't. Our creator knew that pig...
Well, no, it's because pork is red meat.
It's an animal, it deserves to live, it has its own function, but it's not meant to be eaten. So the Creator tells us don't eat pork. So now as a Muslim, I submit. I say, okay, you know what? If Allah says don't eat pork, I'm not going to eat pork.
Right. He knows best.
So that is totally untrue. There are plenty of animals that eat their own feces.
Jamal Browner hit a 455 kilograms deadlift for 4 reps. I know you're a sumo hater, but his stance isn't that narrow, and he's also a 950 conventional puller.
Well, yeah, I know his conventional is very similar to his sumo.
Shit, I meant his stance wasn't that wide.
Alright, well thanks for the donation, balls. Well, it doesn't matter. Again, it doesn't matter if it isn't that wide. What matters is that your legs are wider than your hands.
Have you seen the shirtless pictures of RFK Jr. working out? I didn't realize he's actually really jacked for his age. Definitely on TRT, but still.
Yeah, I've seen him. He's in really good shape. He's obviously on steroids, but yeah, he is in good shape. I would like to stay in that kind of shape up until old age, so if I have to, I'll probably go on TRT, if required. Because it clearly fucking works. Thanks for the donation, though, Adam. Yeah, Jamal Browner has extremely good proportions and mechanics for the deadlift. You can definitely tell. Like, the range of motion is just, like, fucking zero. It looks like he's also using a fucking deadlift bar, too, which is, like, cheating. It's, like, double cheating, but... like, the weight comes off the floor right about here where he's, like, almost at a fucking lockout already, so... yeah, he has very good mechanics for the deadlift, especially when you're talking about sumo. Yeah, so everything they just said here is bullshit. For one thing, yeah, pigs have parasites in them. Guess what? Pigs aren't the only animals that carry parasites. Fish carry more parasites than any other fucking animal, and nowhere in Islam does it say you can't eat fish, even though you're more likely to consume parasites from eating fish. Secondly, pigs aren't the only animals that eat their own feces. Just about every animal species eats their own fucking feces. Again, Islam is fine with eating other animal species. But yeah. Red meat bad, either way, in any case. Let's see this.
ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Oh Allah, give me the best in this life and the hereafter. Oh Allah, forgive my sins. Oh Allah, protect me from the hellfire. Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Well, this is something that not very smart people do.
The chicks, when we walk by, they raise their thing and they turn away.
Right.
Which is like the complete opposite of the U.S.
Right.
As soon as the camera's there,
yeah,
they drop everything and they start shaking.
They start twerking. Here they cover up.
Like go to Miami versus here.
Yeah.
You go to Miami, put a camera on any random girl.
And that's supposedly a good thing. Okay. Thanks for that donation, Biru Christ.
Sex with dead women's bodies. They are evil, and do the right thing and call them evil.
All right, we've had a minute each. Okay, we've got a passionate start. Mohammed, let me ask you about Hamas.
I want to first, before you do that, I want to commend you.
I know you have been down lately, so I found you a new buddy to pick your spirits up. Watch to the end, you have so much in common.
Let me see.
I'm looking for a friend or a father who has similar interests to me. I have two favorite hobbies. My first favorite hobby is designing fashion. My second favorite hobby is yogurts. Please write back soon.
I don't think we'd get along too well. This guy looks pretty jacked, though. He does have odd proportions, but he does look pretty jacked. Is this like Synthol? I've never seen anybody with proportions like this. Alright, well. Weird guy. Thanks for the donation quest.
Piers, honestly, because bringing me on for the second time, I have to commend you. And the fact that you actually...
Holy fuck. Did you see and hear that TikTok users are praising Osama bin Laden? It's going viral and it is fucking insane with all the terrorists/terrorist supporters. Wow.
Yep. I have been seeing that. It's pretty retarded.
Thought that we couldn't get any lower? Here we are. TikTok users are currently praising Osama bin Laden, the man responsible for the 9/11 terrorist attack, one of the most wanted men by the FBI, and they're justifying his attack. Bear with me because you're gonna want to watch this entire video. In case you've missed it, bin
Yeah, they're basically saying his manifesto was right, which is retarded. I've seen the thing though. Thanks for the donation, Ben.
You condemn the settlements is very good, but people want to know, do you think the IDF are a terrorist organization?
No.
You don't think they're a terrorist organization? Okay, well, if you look at the UN definition of terrorist organization, they say killing civilians for political
So you're
gain.
asking my opinion?
No, but if the UN definition...
Yeah, so the IDF doesn't kill civilians for political gain.
Frank Tufano made a short mentioning you.
I'm not watching that. Thanks for the donation, dude.
According to the UN definition, it's killing civilians for political objectives. Why are they not terrorist organizations?
Well, you've asked me a straight
There's no political objective.
question. I don't think they are terror organizations.
So when you see babies like this, the ones
It's
who
horrific.
kill the ones who kill babies like this are not terrorists.
It's horrific.
So the people who kill babies like this.
Like, it's just without any context.
Well, let me respond.
Yes.
Let me respond. We'll both,
not your turn.
You can both get into this. Here's my response to that. And I've thought carefully about this. I'll be very honest about my own feelings. I have a real moral quandary about this because as a father, I hate these scenes of kids being killed in Gaza. It's horrific, right? We all know it's horrific.
But are they a terrorist organisation, though?
I'm about to explain to you what I think my position is. My position is after what happened on October the 7th, it was so barbaric, so disgusting.
So you can kill children?
Well, no, what you can do...
That's exactly what terrorists say, by the way.
Let me answer your question.
This is not a debate. This is someone else becoming the host of the show and now interviewing you. I thought we were being interviewed. Mohammed, you and I are being interviewed. You're not here to interview him.
You're going to have your chance.
Mohammed, you can put it down.
Don't make him lose control of his own show. You do this all the time. I'm not going to let it happen tonight.
All right, Rabbi, let me answer...
Please have respect for the...
No. Stop interviewing the interviewer and be respectful. And be respectful.
Let me respond.
Tell me, is it a terrorist organisation or not?
No.
Why not?
I do not believe so.
They kill civilians for political
objectives. You have
objectives.
to let me answer.
Go ahead.
Okay. Here's my answer to that. When Hamas did what they did, two things. One, Hamas knew exactly what Israel's response
He's going to interrupt him again. Just watch.
would be. They knew they would come incredibly hard back.
I don't absolve them.
Wait a minute. I'm not absolving anybody.
I'm not absolving them.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying the West Bank is West Hamas.
I know.
Yeah.
2 links. Candace has been tweeting cryptic religious mumbo-jumbo that comes off as sussy anti-Semitism. Ben Shapiro calls her out and Candace then gaslights and goes on Tucker to dog whistle some more.
Yeah, I've seen some of this. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake. For theirs is kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you, persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. No one can serve two masters either. You will hate the one, love the other, or you'll be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. The fuck? Okay, that makes no sense. If you feel that taking money from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means quit. You've been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now. I think he wants her to quit so that he doesn't have to give her severance. And we have all had to sit back and allow it and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion, but you cross a certain line when you come for scripture and you read yourself into it. I will not tolerate it. Dude, what a fucking clown. Yeah, I think he's trying to get her to quit so he doesn't have to give her severance. That's hilarious, though. Dude, that was fucking based. Oh, that was so funny. Thanks for that donation, though, Darth Putin. Renee donated $2. Let me see. Oh my god. What is this creature? Oh my god. It is a water bird. Oh my god. Atlantic puffin swimming. I didn't know puffins swam like that. Weird. That's amazing. That is a pretty incredible bird. Thanks for the donation, Renee.
Hamas.
You have to let me answer.
You got 44 children killed like this in the West Bank.
Look, this is what every fucking Muslim does who, you know, who has these debate platforms. They will ask you a question. While you're trying to answer the question, they will just keep interrupting you. And they'll do that in the hopes that they'll derail a discussion or debate so that nothing happens. So that nobody can say anything, and then they can walk away saying, he didn't even make a single argument. Like, no shit, you didn't fucking let anybody speak.
This is ridiculous.
Wait a minute, Rabashwari. Let me just answer you quickly.
Go ahead.
I believe Israel has a right to defend itself from after that terror attack.
But can they kill children?
Wait a minute.
Can they?
Wait a minute.
I don't know why Pierce is even indulging this.
Particularly after the Hamas spokesman only last week said that they want to do this again and again and again. That's an existential threat to Israel.
Why don't they fight them man to man? Man to man. Fight them man to man. Why do you have to kill children?
Wait a minute.
Fight them man to man. Well, I think the reason for that is casualties will be much higher if you don't attack fucking military targets first.
Why do you have to kill
airstrikes?
Why?
Let me answer you.
Of a ratio of 100 to 1, by the way.
Let me answer you.
100 to 1 ratio.
Let me answer you.
Go ahead.
Otherwise, it's pointless.
Go ahead.
So, I agree that Israel must defend itself. I agree they have to get rid of Hamas because Hamas is wedded to an ideology of existentially removing Israel.
Is this acceptable?
Wait a minute. I'm coming to your answer.
Is this acceptable?
Yes, it is. It's totally acceptable. Having Palestinian children die with the idea of either killing Hamas targets or destroying their weaponry, explosives, shit like that. Yes, it is totally acceptable losses.
I'm coming to your answer.
This is not even
a conversation.
Wait a minute.
Listen, I came all the way from the United States for this debate.
Let me finish.
And he will not let anyone else speak. And if that's how these shows work, no. You are rude, you are a bully, you just are trying to interrupt people. I'm going to have a chance to speak, or there's no point in doing this show. He did this last time and you allowed him to, but I won't allow him to, because I will never be bullied by a bully.
At the moment,
let me be clear.
Wait a minute. No one's allowing me to answer your question.
Go ahead, sir.
And it's this. I believe Israel has a right to defend itself.
Okay.
I agree that they need...
Look, Pierce Morgan should just put his foot down and say, if you interrupt me one more time, I'm kicking you off the show. And then boot him off the fucking program.
To get rid of Hamas.
In this way?
Who are terror groups.
In this way?
Well,
Are we sourly defending Osama bin Laden now? What the fuck is wrong with humanity in this fucking generation?
I don't know, dude. Look, it's a TikTok trend, so what do you expect? Thanks for the donation, though, Dodo.
Here's the quandary for me morally, right?
Why is it a quandary, though?
I'll tell you why.
With Hamas, it's not a quandary,
I'll
but
tell
with
you
Israel,
why.
it's a quandary.
Because in war, when you declare war, as Britain did with the Nazis...
100 to 1 ratio.
No,
100
of course,
to 1.
There are
Combatant to non-combatant ratio.
a far higher number of children in Gaza, proportionate to population, than almost anywhere in the world. So when they go after Hamas...
Give me a chance.
Very sadly... Mohammed, let me finish.
This is because No.
Very sadly...
You are the one who insisted on equal time. I never did, but you will not respect equal time.
I will come to you literally in 30 seconds.
He's going to ask you a question.
In 30 seconds, I'll come to you.
He's going to come to you afterwards.
Let me finish, please. I am in charge here, Mohammed. So my final point on this is, unfortunately, in war, civilians
100
get
to 1
killed.
ratio. 100 to 1 ratio.
Yes.
100 to 1 ratio.
Yes, they get killed.
No,
yes,
100 to 1
interrupt
ratio. It's an unacceptable ratio.
Get killed.
He's just gonna fucking interrupt constantly.
Really, in you come.
You know, Pierce, can I say respectfully, and I mean this as no insult, I'm amazed that you're intimidated by this man. I feel, well, with all due respect, if I can speak,
He brought me in the second time.
I wouldn't bring him back if I was intimidated.
If I can speak.
And he raises a very valid question, by the way.
No, he does not, because I have, before he did this debate, he went on X on Twitter and said, I'm only doing it if there's equal time. And then he is violating that. I never asked for equal time. I just want to be heard, but he won't even let me be heard. Let me explain something to you. You said in a video the other day, and you can look me in the eye, you said that Jews are now trembling. Muhammad,
I am not.
No, don't interrupt me. I am not trembling. It's all on my Instagram page. Now, you see this yarmulke? It means that I represent something. I'm an ambassador. You're an ambassador of Islam. You are talking about a religion that started the world's first universities, educated women. Fatima started the first university in the 9th century in Fez, Morocco.
Irrelevant.
Now we have a man who says that he's a representative of Islam.
He's meant to be speaking to you, right?
He goes to Speaker's Corner. He speaks about whether 5-year-old girls are old enough for sex. He says that gay men are dying of AIDS as a punishment from God. And I'm sorry to have to say this to the listeners, that blood is gushing from their backsides. They're better off. You know what it is? Because you are desecrating a great religion. Now let me tell you why. Let me tell you why it's here. Because he will defend. I will. He will defend Hamas's butchery, savagery. He doesn't care that Hamas is an abomination to Islam because Islam.
But he hasn't done
the
that.
Children in Gaza are dying because Hamas uses them as bulletproof vests.
Okay.
The United States.
This guy is really based, and he is clearly well prepared for a debate with Mohammed Hijab. He's debated other Muslim fucking apologists like him before. One thing that you absolutely have to do when you're debating somebody like Mohammed Hijab is have the ability to talk through them. Because again, he has taken every opportunity he possibly can to interrupt.
Vegan Gains stays getting injured. Shame, 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 injure yen rider, injure yen rider, injure yen.
And France and England said yesterday that the Al-Shifa hospital is a military base. It has a tiny veneer.
Let him have his minute.
It has a tiny veneer of emergency rooms.
Hold on a minute.
But underneath all of it is a military base.
You have a minute.
And let me tell you something. If it's true that any of these countries care about the Muslims in Gaza because they believe what he's saying, that Israel's killing them, this is a map of all the countries that took place last week in Riyadh to save the Palestinians of Gaza from Israel. Do you know how many? That's Israel, a tiny thing. You know how many of them took in even one Palestinian from Gaza? Zero, nothing. Look at that map. Because they want to. The Arabs want to see. The Arabs want to see Hamas. Don't intimidate me. Don't bully me. Don't intimidate me. I'm not afraid of you.
I've got to be able to ask questions. It's a debate. Let's come back. Let me ask you one.
Richard, like your fear of babies, I myself have a similar affliction. I have a fear of black people, also known as negrophobia. Due to my condition, my city has granted me permission to put a sign in front of my home reading "No Nigger Zone."
Well, that's good. Thanks for the donation, Mr. Balls.
Specific question which he raised, which I don't think actually is your belief. I don't think you have defended what Hamas did on October the 7th.
Yeah, I haven't.
I think you share our
view.
Unless I'm wrong.
Are they evil? Are they evil?
Stop speaking. Is it me or him I'm speaking to?
Are they evil?
Rabbi Shmuley,
Is Hamas
you're now
evil?
doing what you accused him of doing.
Stop speaking.
Let me ask you, what is your view of Hamas post-October 7th?
I think that they, just like anybody else, have to be examined, have to look at all the...
What's your opinion about them?
Yeah, I think that, here's my opinion. Let me be straightforward about this, right?
They're an evil jihadist. Well, in his opinion, jihad is a good thing. Mohammed Hijab supports terrorism. He supports the Taliban. He supports ISIS. He supports any jihadist terrorist organization because he wants to kill non-believers and apostates.
Anybody who kills civilians, anybody, whether it's the IDF, I'm consistent in this manner. If it's proven beyond reasonable doubt that these people have killed civilians in both of our faith traditions,
By your logic, if there were military targets across all of Gaza, so much like it was a chessboard full of pawns, you'd be in favor of nuking the whole place regardless of the number of civilians in the territory? You have zero wiggle room on that?
Not necessarily. I don't know how the hell that would be implied with my belief. Thanks for that donation, Quest. You're a dumbass.
In Islam and Judaism, in the Quran is mentioned, in the Prophet he said it himself, you cannot kill a woman, you cannot kill a child. I condemn them. I condemn them. That's what I do. Straight away, whether he's Muslim, whether he's non-Muslim, whether he's Christian or anybody else. I've already said that. So I'm not being inconsistent here. My question is, if that is exactly the barometer that we're using, if that's the moral reasoning that we're using, then we have to say, look, If you have a 100-to-1 ratio, and that's what it is, a 100-to-1 ratio. And do you know how I got this figure?
So he's dodging the question. Again, not surprisingly.
At HFHDF at V_GAN at HFHDF at V_GAN at HFHDF at V_GAN 777,777,777,777,777.
Thank you for that, the Even Thou. Appreciate the donation. Okay, so William Will, if you don't debate me in Discord, I'm gonna ban you. So I'm in the debate room right now. If you don't debate me right now in Israel Palestine, you're banned. There's the link for the Discord. If you don't pop in a couple minutes, you're gone.
I got this figure from the IDF themselves because they have reported.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Does Hamas deserve to stay in power after what they did?
I don't think we should have Hamas in power. What I think we should...
Okay.
No,
So either I'm going to ban you if you don't show up in Discord, or you can apologize and say that you're wrong about me being a hypocrite on Israel-Palestine.
Let me tell you,
so how do you get rid of them?
We should have a Palestinian Authority with bigger armies and airports with proper tanks and with airplanes like every country in the world.
You know what? You might be right. But
Richard, I used to believe that terrorism and slaughtering thousands of innocents out of revenge for my race was bad. Then I read Osama bin Laden's letter to America. Crazy how my perspective changed completely from one man that everyone labels as a terrorist.
Well, that's because you're retarded. Thanks for the donation, Caleb.
Knife, rooster, food, knife, rooster.
Thanks for that, Safari. So, projected civilian casualties are oftentimes higher with a ground invasion versus these tactical strikes. So using either artillery or airstrikes. So I don't know why Ahmadinejad, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. And he would be saying the same thing when there's civilian casualties, from a ground invasion. So Ahmadinejad is full of shit.
Absolutely, they won't allow it.
How do you get
the Israelis won't allow
How do you get rid of Hamas?
What you don't do, I can tell you for a fact, is try and kill 30,000 of them with a 100-to-1 ratio. Because if you do that...
Okay, so congratulations, you're banned. Bye-bye, dipshit. Yeah, so if you're gonna fucking talk shit in chat and say, Richard doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, he's a hypocrite, what a dumbass, what a fucking retard, and then...
Kaloop, that's evil.
Thanks for the donation, Dodo. And then you won't debate me, you won't explain why, you won't defend your fucking belief, then fuck off, you're banned. Eat shit.
Then you're committing genocide because you'd have to kill 3 million Palestinians.
Rabbi Shmuley?
Do you even know the definition of genocide?
I haven't said genocide.
What's it? You just said it.
No, I said if you.
What is the definition of genocide? What's the definition?
I said if you do.
You always claim to be an academic. You're always touting your Oxford credentials. What is the definition of genocide?
You said conditional.
Genocide is where.
You'll be genocidal.
Genocide is where you target an ethnicity for extinction. Ethnicity, side, murder.
Yes, if you do it. If you kill 3 million Palestinians, are you genocidal? If you kill 3 million Palestinians,
there are 1.8 million Muslim Arabs who live in total peace in Israel as equal citizens. In fact, Israel practiced reverse discrimination against the Jews because the Jews are conscripted to fight Hamas. So, if Israel, excuse me, no, you will not interrupt me. If Israel, you will not interrupt me. You will not interrupt me. You will not interrupt me. You will not bully me. You will not interrupt me. I am not afraid of you. Stop saying the Jews tremble. Now, let me be clear. Let me be clear.
We're getting nowhere if you shout over each other.
Well, then you need to control your guests, with all due respect. Okay, he said he said equal time, and there's no equal time. Now,
there's no equal time.
If Israel was interested in a genocide of the Palestinians, why do they have 1.8 million equal Arab Muslim citizens who are in the Israeli Supreme Court, who are 1/3 of the medical profession? Do you know that an Arab an Arab judge put the president of Israel in jail for accused rape. That was Moshe Katsav. That's how little Israel's an apartheid state.
Speaking of targeting an Ifchi for execution.
Sheriff just announced by the Ventura County District Attorney, the suspect
Whoa.
in this case will face 2 felony counts. It is involuntary manslaughter and also battery with the intent to cause.
Knife, rooster, food, knife, rooster, food, knife, rooster, food, knife, rooster, food, knife.
I'm just gonna skip that, but thanks for that donation. Fucker right into pussy.
Great bodily harm. Also, a lot of people in the Jewish community now wondering why, so far, this is not being prosecuted as a hate crime. This is the man now under arrest for the death of Jewish protester Paul Kessler. 50-year-old Loe Abdel Fattah al-Naji shown sitting down just after the deadly confrontation in Thousand Oaks. It happened at a clash between pro-Palestinian and Israeli demonstrators on November 5th. The Ventura County Sheriff's Department previously searched al-Naji's Moore Park home. Investigators say he is cooperating with authorities and that he remained at the scene and called 911 after the confrontation. Today, his family did not want to talk to our KTLA news crew.
No, we're not interested in commenting. Thank you.
Al-Naji now is charged with involuntary manslaughter and locked up on $1 million bail in connection with the death of 69-year-old Kessler. Kessler, who fell to the ground, died of a severe head injury.
A lot of anger, a lot of frustration.
That's pretty fucked. Thanks for the donation, Dodo.
Genocidal state. This man sitting next to me, Mohammed Hijab, will not distinguish between self-defense when Hamas comes to brutalize and murder your people versus when an army like Britain, like France, stops, retaliates to simply protect their interests. You don't believe that Jews should have a right to defend themselves. Say it outright then say it. The Jews have a right to defend themselves.
You're dumb as fuck. You don't have any idea what you are talking about. Go suck Finn's ass, you simpleton.
Yeah, you say that. Thanks for the donation, gay word.
So, they do. Yes, they do.
So that's why we have to go.
Everybody has a right to defend themselves.
So that's why we have to go into Gaza to stop Hamas.
Yes, they can go into Gaza and stop Hamas.
But
no, they can go in. But don't. No, hey, hold on. Let me tell you my position. Let me tell you my.
So they can go in. Thank God.
He asked me a question. Can I answer it? Yes, they can go into even fight. Even Abu Ubaidah, the general of Hamas, he said, "Nahnu fi intidharikum" in Arabic. We are waiting for you. That's what he's been saying. Hold on. You've asked me a question.
Go ahead.
They do have a right. What I've been advocating all along is face-to-face confrontation. What I'm against, hold on, excuse me. What I'm against is a 100-to-1 ratio, because if you have 100,
we're going to come to this in block two.
All right. Okay, fine.
Hamas is hiding under hospitals.
Okay.
What face-to-face confrontation? Hamas is shooting children who are going south.
I'm okay with face-to-face confrontation. I like it.
Block 2 is exactly.
It's the honourable way.
Block 2 is exactly the.
Check out the vegan philosopher David Pierce. He has had answers about what to do with carnivore animals for a long time. All his stuff is free online. He also has some tamer videos with Peter Singer on YouTube.
Peter Singer is a piece of shit, so... Is that it? Singularity University? I will maybe look that up later. Thanks for the donation, Messenger.
This question.
Go ahead, let's go.
My only observation,
he hasn't had
Rabbi Shmuley, so far, you're being more personal and ad hominem than he is.
With all due respect,
fuck Palestine. It baffles me that anyone would support these psychos. Anyone who would support paedophilia and relishes repressing human rights can fuck off. I wish the world was free of religion so dumb shit like this wouldn't happen. Fuck Muhammad.
Yep. Well, we obviously can't live in a world like that because people are too stupid. Thanks for that donation, big man.
I think that's extremely unfair because every time I say anything, no, listen.
And you keep answering for him, and in fact, when you actually ask him questions,
because
he gives you straight answers.
If Muhammad,
oh my god, dude. Mohammed Hijab is evasive as fuck.
job wants to be a representative and ambassador of Islam, then he has to take responsibility for his position.
I don't want to be any of that.
He actually said that
I
Islam
represent
believes
myself.
in death. You're not
Okay.
going to beat us because we want to die. We're
All right.
prepared to lose thousands
Rabbi
of
Shmuley,
people.
we're taking
Is
a break.
Islam really a religion of death?
We're
You are
taking
a
a break.
poor ambassador of your
Martyrdom,
faith.
martyrdom.
Hey.
You believe in martyrdom.
Of course I
Do
do.
you want to be a martyr?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to die
Martyr-
fighting
do you
the
know-
Jews?
I didn't say Jews. Who said Jews?
Okay,
do you know
you want to be a martyr where? What does it
what
mean?
yes.
Martyr means someone who dies for his
Prophet Muhammad
faith.
told us, "Man qutila duna malihi fahuwa shaheed." Whoever dies defending themselves, defending their wealth,
Is that what you
is a
want?
martyr. No.
Do you want to die defending Islam, but do you want
That's not true.
Islam to be a religion of peace? You want it to be a religion
hold
of
on.
peace?
This child for us is a martyr.
You're right.
Do you agree or not?
Because
Do you agree or not?
Hamas is
Do you agree
using
or
him
not?
as a human
This is-
shield.
Really?
He is. Yes,
Just like
Hamas
you-
is hiding
okay.
behind him.
Let's
Correct.
go to the next section.
Condemn
All right.
Hamas.
All right, let's time out.
Come on, man. This
Let's
guy's
try
wasting my time.
not to talk over each other because the viewers can't hear it, right?
let's go
I don't
for it.
mind the passion.
Sure.
I don't mind the debate. I don't mind the fire. I do mind if we can't hear what you're saying. It's pointless.
Yeah, let's do the minute
Let's
thing.
go to the second topic, right? This time,
he had his minute, by the way?
Rabbi Shmuley, you will go first with a minute to say what you want to say, and then Mohammed
and what's the
Hijab, you'll
question,
get yours.
please?
So the theme.
Don't be a skipper. See, knife, rooster, food, knife, rooster, food, knife, rooster, food.
I'm going to skip that. Thanks for the nation. If you want to spam and you want the entire spam to be read, it's $20. You can't just donate $3 and derail the stream for like 5 minutes while spam plays and I get no money. Thanks for the donation, though, dumbass.
Theme is this, and the question is this for Block 2. Has Israel gone too far in its response to the October the 7th terror attacks? Okay, Rabbi Shmuley, you have a minute.
Nope.
Starting now.
I just came here by taxi and passed a statue of Winston Churchill. That's in the lifetime of our parents, okay? He is the greatest British statesman of the 20th century. You know what he did when he had a genocidal threat, knowing that Hitler wanted to eviscerate, annihilate Britain? He carpet bombed all of Germany, Dresden, Essen, Hamburg. Israel has not even gotten close to that. Israel does not send its Air Force to carpet bomb cities. It sends in its military. I have a friend who died, six children, 39, because he was personally trying to stop a Hamas terror tunnel. Israel is surgical. Israel is only going after the fighters. Israel has opened humanitarian corridors for the Palestinians to go south. Hamas shoots them and makes sure they don't go. Hamas builds its military structures. Right, Shifa Hospital is this much hospital, and it's this much military. They love using Palestinians. And that's why they've stolen their money. They got about $16 billion from the international community. There isn't one bomb shelter in Gaza. They don't care about the civilians at all. Israel's doing the right thing.
Mohammed,
destroying Hamas.
you have a minute.
What I'm saying is the 100 to 1 ratio comes from the following figures. We know that 10,000 civilians have died. Of them, according to the IDF, as reported by The Guardian, dozens, they say, about 60 Hamas died, which we're being liberal by saying 100 to 1 figures.
So oh my God. The goal of the bombing isn't to kill Hamas fighters because they give warning beforehand to have civilians leave. So obviously Hamas are going to leave. What ends up happening is they try to use human shields to dissuade Israel from bombing certain locations, like where they have weapon stashes. So, like, this idea of a 1 to 100 ratio, it just doesn't make any sense. If you put it in context, the goal with most of these bombings aren't even to kill Hamas fighters. Because, again, they can't really do that. They have to give warning to have civilians flee the area.
For every one Hamas, you have to kill 100 civilians. That's effectively what we're saying. If the trajectory continues as it is,
So I'm just wondering if he was in the situation of 1 to 100, Hamas fighters dying versus civilians dying. Like, if he was a Hamas member, would he think the right thing to do is to, surrender? Like, why isn't Hamas held responsible for this? If it's so ridiculous.
Then you have to kill 3 million Palestinian civilians in order to kill 30,000 Hamas fighters. If you want to extinguish them, eviscerate them, annihilate them, destroy them, you have to do that. Now,
This makes no sense.
What language do you speak best other than English?
I only speak English. Thanks for that donation, Ree. Like, okay, isn't the whole Palestinian population 3 million? So if like if the IDF had an interest in like killing, you know, every fucking Palestinian, like why haven't they done that by now? They could have done this in an afternoon.
You have Herzog, who is the president that you interviewed, saying that all Palestinians, they are responsible. This man is being more slippery. He's being more slippery than the lubricants that he sells in his daughter's sex shop. And that's the reality of the situation.
Did you really just say that? You know, you seem obsessed with Jewish sex. It's bizarre. Yesterday, you actually spoke about Ben Shapiro's wife.
Yes,
you
I did.
actually...
I've been saying constantly that the piece of shit is a full-on Nazi ever since he made Twitter/X a safe haven for Nazis, KKK members, fascists, terrorist jihadists, etc.
Well, yeah, he absolutely is a Nazi. Elon Musk expresses support for anti-Semitic post on X, calling it actual truth. Yeah. I really hope this harms his reputation irreparably. I would love to see people refuse to trade with him. So, like, if he ever needs to get batteries from, like, Panasonic just refuses to, you know, trade with him or make any kind of business deals because he's an anti-Semite. That'd be great. I'd love to see him destroy his business because of the anti-Semitic shitty posts. Thanks for the donation, though, Bend Over.
You said
Yes,
to Ben
I did.
Shapiro,
Yes, I did.
your wife's a carrot when you were more of a man. Is that what you're trying to
Yes,
say?
I did.
Then you said that Jews have
Can we-
BDSM. You're speaking about
No, can we
get it
sexual
back?
lubricants while people are dying. You know, Muhammad, get your head out of the Jewish bedroom. It's really bizarre.
Can we get it? Can we get it?
Let me be
Anyway.
clear.
No.
Sexual lubricants? How
You
embarrassing.
sell dildos, don't you?
Can we get it
You
back?
sell dildos, don't you?
Can we get it back to the
sell
topic?
dildos.
You speak about 5-year-old girls being
No, I
ready
don't.
for sex.
Come on,
God,
listen,
listen. Let's
You're
go
a liar.
back. Let's go
You're
back to
a liar.
the issue.
You're a liar.
Let's go back to the issue. Let's go back to the issue.
Let me ask a question.
Why are you shaking? I've got a vibrator in your pocket.
Come on, it's a serious debate.
I think he's got one of his daughter's vibrators in his
Come on,
pocket.
leave it, please.
He does.
You are
Let-
just
it's stupid.
humiliating
We're going
yourself.
to cut all
Go
this
back
stuff.
to the issue.
We'll cut all this stuff
Yeah.
out. So there's no point.
Why? Why?
No,
Leave
cut
it.
it out.
People should
Uncensored,
see what he
uncensored.
represents.
There's no
It is
point
uncensored.
abusing each other personally.
No, no,
Okay,
Let's
Piers.
I want to stick to the debate.
Let's get to the debate.
You don't want to do it? Well, end the debate.
Let's get to the debate.
Right, let me ask Mohammed a question. Right.
Anti-Zionism isn't anti-Semitic, you dumb fuck. Bye-bye, you're banned. I don't know what the fuck that has to do with anything, but you're stupid, so you're banned.
I don't disagree with you that so far it seems to me,
Yes.
obviously,
Yes.
a fact that many, many more Palestinian civilians, innocent people, are getting killed as retribution by the Israelis for what happened on October the 7th. That's indisputable, right? Their argument is that they're going after a terror organization, Hamas, and unfortunately in war, as Rabbi Shmuley correctly said about what Churchill did in World War II.
Churchill was wrong.
A lot of
Churchill was wrong.
Okay.
Was he a war criminal?
Yes, he was.
All
Yes, he
right.
was.
Churchill was a war
Yes, he
criminal.
was. Churchill was a war
Were all
criminal.
the British
Let me
people
do
who
the
lived there
Churchill was a
war
war
criminals?
criminal.
Okay,
Yes, he was.
do
and
the
George
question.
VI, was George VI
Yeah,
war
all of them
criminal?
war criminals.
George
Nagasaki,
VI war
all of them.
criminal.
Yes, of
So
course.
anyone that,
his
hang on,
Yes,
Rabbi
war
Shmuley.
criminal, war
Let me ask.
criminal.
So let me get this
Absolutely.
straight. You think
Collective punishment.
You think Winston Churchill
Was a war criminal, yes.
in standing up to the Nazis
By killing the
who
babies.
killed 12 million people?
I believe he was a war
that
criminal.
by doing what he did was a war.
The better argument to make is that even if you recognize what the leadership is doing is wrong, that doesn't mean everything they're doing is wrong. And in like the greater interest of good, you could say supporting Winston Churchill isn't supporting, it doesn't make you complicit in like a war crime. Or it doesn't mean you're like some genocidal maniac because you support Winston Churchill. Like that's the better argument to make. So you could condemn Winston Churchill for bombing civilian areas. But the idea is, yeah, you might not agree with everything the government's doing, but in the greater interest of good, it's totally fine to support somebody like Winston Churchill, at least at the time. Now, this is completely disanalogous, though, because the IDF isn't intentionally bombing civilian areas. Like, the whole tactic of warfare is totally different compared to, World War II, where Winston Churchill did intentionally bomb civilian areas.
You are going to love this.
Let me take a look, Dodo.
The Israeli Defense Forces are now telling Palestinian civilians to flee parts of South Gaza, which of course is the part of Gaza they had already fled to, as...
Yes, guess what? There's like this area of South Gaza that they're in, and they're telling them to leave certain areas. So they move out of the way of those areas, Anna. Like,
the aerial bombardment by the IDF really focused on northern Gaza. Now, I want to be clear. There were also...
By the way, that's because there's Hamas locations there that are preventing people from actually fleeing the north, so...
Also aerial bombardments in southern Gaza as well. But the claim was, well, just move over to the southern region of the Gaza Strip, and that's where you should...
Okay, Anna's a fucking moron. So, this is the same bullshit that you heard about a week or two ago, where the IDF told people to go to South Gaza. They gave them locations that would be safe to travel, and they ended up bombing one of those locations because Hamas was actually preventing people from moving safely through these regions. Hamas was actually shooting fucking innocent civilians, telling them not to fucking move to South Gaza. So they bombed those Hamas locations, and then, like, all over the fucking news, IDF bombs, like, safe location that they told fucking people to... Like, no, they're bombing a Hamas location where they're preventing people from moving. Same thing's happening here. And then, of course, Young Turks are spinning it in a completely different way and bending the fucking truth. Fuck them, dude. This whole topic just irritates the fuck out of me.
Criminal. By killing in Dresden and Hamburg. By indiscriminate killing. Collective punishment. My morality says that's impossible.
Okay, that means the British people who
that's
supported him and voted him in, they were
My
also...
morality says that's impossible.
Just a second.
You know, I'm just curious, like... Does he not believe in deterrence? So, like, there's the concept of there's the concept of nuclear deterrence. So, but this applies to pretty much everything. It's not just nuclear deterrence. But, if, one side launches a nuclear weapon at, another side, the idea is, okay, well, that side will also launch a nuclear strike in retaliation. And that prevents anybody from firing any nukes. But, if that gets violated, then nukes get shot. Innocent people will die. But, you have to have, that sort of deterrence in order to prevent those sorts of things from happening in the first place. Well, that concept of deterrence also, exists just in warfare in general. So if, like, the Nazis are to bomb the UK and bomb civilian areas, like, guess what? The appropriate response may be to bomb civilian areas, for the UK to bomb civilian areas in Germany. I mean, I don't know if, like, calling it collective punishment is just fucking stupid. It's the concept of deterrence.
Second.
That's why I believe
the British people...
Yeah.
You believe he's a war criminal?
Yes.
So therefore, your belief is that no retaliatory action...
No, you can retaliate to the man, not to the babies.
Tell me a war in history...
Yes.
...where...
So, again, this is just an oxymoronic statement. The projected civilian casualties are often higher with a ground invasion, so even if there's a ground invasion... there'd still be those civilian casualties. So, and then you'd hear fucking Mohammed Hijab saying the same thing. Oh, the IDF is killing babies, blah, blah, blah. Like, you can't win. He just doesn't want Jews to defend themselves. Man licking shoes on New York subway. Okay, well, that person's probably crazy. Thanks for the donation one.
Civilians haven't been killed.
No, I'm not saying civilians haven't been killed. It's
Just
about this ratio.
war or
It's about the
otherwise.
ratio. It's
No,
about
no,
the ratio.
What is the ratio?
What about the
What's
ratio?
100 to 1 is unacceptable.
Actually,
What is the
morally,
ra-
100 to 1 is unacceptable.
actually, morally,
100 to 1.
accept. Okay, well,
101 is an
100 to 1 is
invention.
hang on, Rabbi Shmuley. So let me give you a ratio.
Yeah.
How many people did the Nazis kill?
I don't know.
You don't know.
12
how
million.
many Nazis killed?
We know they killed 6 million.
They
Jews in
killed
the
12
Holocaust.
million people,
I don't know. So we don't know.
including
exactly.
6 million Jews.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So
12 million
how many died in Dresden? How many civilians died in Germany? Do you know?
I don't know exactly.
Right, so you don't actually know what you're talking about.
I do know what I'm talking about because
You
I know in
called
Dresden
Churchill-
and Hamburg.
You said
if
it's
his
about you. Unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, go ahead.
Unless I'm wrong.
Yeah, go
you
ahead.
said it's to do with the
ratios.
The ratios.
Yes.
But you don't know the ratios. When
No,
you
no,
call,
I know for a fact
when you
Dresden
call
and
Winston Churchill
What
a
are the
criminal.
numbers?
Dresden and Hamburg.
What are the
When you,
numbers in
wait
Dresden
a
and
minute,
Hamburg?
Rabbi Shmuley. When you
Dresden-
call Winston Churchill a criminal,
Yeah, I believe
you're
war
basing
criminal.
it on ratios you don't even know what they are.
I don't even, like, it's just weird. What ratio is acceptable for him? I would just, like, he hasn't even stated. This is about ratios. Okay, what ratio would be acceptable? German civilian casualties, World War II. German government reported that its records list 4.3 million dead and missing military personnel. Civilian deaths during World War, including air raids. Estimated German civilians killed by Allied strategic bombing ranged from 350,000 to 500,000. 4.3 million military personnel, 350 to 500,000 civilians. Which is nowhere near the amount of deaths in Gaza.
I know there's difference of opinion among the scholars.
No, there isn't.
There is difference.
Tell us the opinions. What are they? Tell us what they are.
Hold on. There's
How many in Dresden?
Excuse me. Stop speaking for
How many in Dresden?
Am I speaking to him or
How
you?
many in Dresden?
Whatever the number.
You don't know
if
it
it's
all.
indiscriminate,
Okay.
I'm against it.
No, he doesn't.
That's my morality.
Rabbi Shmuley, you respond.
Dresden's about 25,000, and at the time, the Germans were saying 250,000. We know it's about 25,000 today. Let me be clear. Winston Churchill was the greatest statesman of the 20th century. He saved the world from Nazi terror.
Yeah.
That you could live in a country that is only around today because of the bravery of that man showing no gratitude is the height of
stick on topic. Stick on topic.
And to call all the British people who defeated the Nazis, stop interrupting me.
Stick on topic.
Defeated the
Please let each other
Nazis,
speak.
war criminals,
Stick on topic.
his parents, all the other people, war criminals.
All right, let me ask Rabbi Shmuley a
It's
question.
wrong. No. Let me be clear. Let me
Don't interrupt each
be
other.
clear. Mohammed Hijab trades in falsehoods. 300 to 1? What are you talking
100
about?
to 1.
And now he says
100 to 1.
he says the Jews are about to kill 3 million.
I like this guy.
Let me see, Fohammer.
And Superhuman TV Show, and today I'll be jumping on two gusset plates, cheese graters, light tubes, and barbed wire. This is for gigolos and gigolettes. Do not try this at home, and I hope you like it. Whoop whoop! Fuck! This shit! Whoop whoop!
In PPSA you can't get high protein from a vegan diet. SMH, do you cook seitan? Air fry? And what's protein intake do you follow the 1 gram per pound? And do you increase the P when you cut?
So I try to get 0.75 grams protein per pound body weight. Depends on how I'm dieting. If I'm doing a slower kind of diet, then yeah, I'll try to aim for 1 gram per pound. If not, then I don't really care. If I'm just trying to lose weight very, very rapidly, I don't care. And how do I cook my seitan? I just pan fry it.
Fuck! Fuck! Oh, my back! My ass!
Yes, that's great.
Everything I ate to hit my protein as a vegan during a travel date. I started off my morning with 2 massive blueberry oatmeal muffins, so good. Then I had a spinach tofu scramble sandwich, which is super easy to grab on the go, a Good Cravings protein bar, and this meal doesn't look pretty, but it's so good. It's sweet potatoes and seitan. Right after we landed, I went straight to Whole Foods to grab some vegan sushi with avocado, some tofurkey deli slices. I grabbed 2 cookies from Make Good.
Okay, whatever. Thanks for the donation, though. The One Piece is Israel.
I didn't say they're about to. I said
the fact that this man considers
You don't
himself an
understand.
Oxford academic. I was the rabbi at Oxford University for 11 years. This
Did
is
you graduate
a
from there? Did you
travesty.
graduate from there?
This is a
Let me ask you a
travesty.
question, Rabbi Shmuley.
That
Wait a
he,
minute.
Did you graduate from any university?
I have a rabbinical
Did you graduate?
Let me answer.
You were excommunicated.
Let me answer.
Well, you excommunicated.
Let me answer.
Right? I saw you were excommunicated from the rabbis.
I am a rabbinical.
All right, honestly,
Can I speak?
This is pointless.
Go on.
Rabbi Shmuley, is there a limit to the number of civilians in Gaza that Israel can kill to try and
That's a
eliminate
good question.
Hamas?
That's a great question.
He should be asking that question to Mohammed Hijab because, like, he's the one fucking claiming, well, I care about a ratio. So, like, I mean, let's say the ratio was 1,000 Hamas fighters for every 1 civilian. Like, let's say it's ridiculously skewed, but you'd have to kill 3 million civilians in order to defeat Hamas. Like, would he care about the ratio then? Like I don't know why a ratio necessarily matters and not absolute amount of deaths.
There is.
Thank you, but let me ask you.
Not even one. Not one beautiful Palestinian child should have to die because Hamas kicked out Mahmoud Abbas.
That wasn't my question.
And not one should have to die. What the answer to your question is that Hamas, if they surrender unconditionally, then
Which they're not
all of
gonna
that.
do.
Okay, fine.
But is there a limit?
Then let them allow all the civilians.
Is there a limit?
Israel said that all the civilians can leave. All the civilians should go south. They begged them, and that's something that militaries never do. Churchill did not tell the people in Dresden, "Come on," and. You came with all your notes.
We get the point.
I'm not here.
We get the point, Mohammed. I get the point.
This is
I
all.
get the point.
This is all proof that he can't debate me. So he has to use these images. Debate me. We didn't ask you to come on with all your exhibits.
Rabbi Shmuley, let me ask you a question. A member of the cabinet in Israel was actually quoted as saying that nuclear weapons were an option that Israel could use. No one's ever confirmed Israel has nuclear weapons. It's long been suspected. That seemed pretty clear confirmation.
Why are you against nuclear
But
weapons?
hang on.
If you're not against Dresden, why are you against nuclear weapons?
Let me ask the question.
No, but why are you against it?
I've done this before, this job. Let me do it.
Go on.
Okay? So when that guy says that, if you're living as an innocent civilian in Gaza, what the hell are you thinking? That an Israeli government member threatens the use of a nuclear weapon, which would...
Yeah, my answer to that would be, who fucking cares? Any one single member of government can say whatever the fuck they want.
Obliterate pretty much all of Gaza and everyone in it.
No, one nuclear weapon wouldn't obliterate all of Gaza.
Trying to abolish nukes completely, even if its century-long process is retarded. Nations will always be making wonder weapons. Get rid of all nukes and then we will have deadly widespread cyber threats, biowarfare, etc. would be less obvious deterrents.
You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Why is something as dangerous as religion still being practiced in the 21st century?
I don't know, Dodo. It's retarded. Thanks for that donation. Yeah, Darth Putin, that is monstrously stupid. The biggest issue with allowing any nation to develop nuclear weapons is it has to do with if these nation states have poor security or they end up failing. So let's say there's a regime change in Iran and Iran develops nuclear weapons. Those nuclear weapons could fall to the hands of the Taliban or ISIS, and then ISIS or the Taliban now have a nuclear weapon that they can use. That's the biggest risk with allowing for countries to have nuclear weapons. On top of that, there's other geopolitical issues and safety issues with the use of nuclear weapons versus conventional explosives. In all reality, nukes aren't much more dangerous than conventional explosives, like in terms of the amount of people killed. But the big problem is, again, if you allow for nuclear proliferation, a lot of these smaller countries or countries with poor security, poor stability, they're more likely to have nuclear weapons fall to the hands of terrorists, bad actors, and then those terrorists can use those nuclear weapons to commit far more harm than they otherwise would be able to. Thanks for the donation, though, Darth Putin.
I've been freaking out at everyone in live stream chats the past few days.
Yes, I would understand why. Thanks for the donation, Winker.
Thank you for the question. If that were true, why hasn't Israel used nuclear weapons against Nasser when he invaded?
It's true.
Well, hold on.
It's true this guy threatened
it. And the answer is no. I know the guy, and I spoke to him about it. His name is Amichai Eliyahu. Israel has never carpet bombed any Arab.
Hang
on, Mohammed.
1967
Now.
1967 was preemptive.
He was asked a question by a provocative interview, and he said, well, if you're going to bomb the same thing, it was like it was a Mohammed Hijab type. You want to kill all the Arabs, 3 million people, just drop a bomb. He said, well, if you want to drop a bomb, drop a bomb. He was being dismissive and stupid, and he put out a statement the next day saying that never in history would the Jews ever even contemplate doing that. Let's remember one thing. The only place in the Middle East, one second, Pierce, the only place in the Middle East where Arabs have any freedoms, Israel. The only place where they vote openly, Israel. The only place where Palestinian women can dress the way they want, Israel. And let's be clear, when Mohammed Hijab gets up and says that we Palestinians want to be a religion of death, I just got a haircut coming here by an Arab barber here in London, and he said to me, I hope you defeat this guy because he doesn't represent us. We want to live. We want to have good lives. We want to be religious. We want to eat halal. But we don't want to die for martyrdom. You are not a Muslim. You're an Islamist.
Let me ask Mohammed a question. Hamas has 240 hostages. Hamas has 240 hostages they took, including babies, young kids, grandmothers who survived the Holocaust. I mean, an unspeakable further criminal act. We can agree, right?
Of course.
Why should Israel agree to any ceasefire so long as those hostages are still being kept hostage?
Look, my position is very clear. They should fight man to man on the ground. On the ground.
Well,
this makes no sense. Projected civilian casualties aren't any better.
That fighting.
That's exactly what they're doing.
That fighting, no one can. This is
Muhammad, that's exactly what they're doing.
I know.
Man to man, they took hostages.
Excuse me.
They took babies as hostages.
He's asked me the question.
They took infants as hostages.
Let him answer the question.
You're getting excited here. I know it's your sexuals are implying you're the sex rabbi.
Now you're.
Here we go. Yeah. He always brings up weird sexual stuff. He is a pervert.
Back to my sex
Leave
life.
it,
You're getting overexcited.
Get your head out of my bedroom. Beneath you.
He's getting excited with me.
Let me ask the questions.
Honestly.
You guys answer them. Mohammed, answer my question. Why, if you're Israel, would you ever agree to a ceasefire if those hostages aren't released?
Well, look, just think of how stupid it is to agree to a ceasefire. These people invaded Israel, and what did they do when they invaded? They looked for any innocent civilians they could fucking find. They murdered men, women, and children, and they executed them by burning them alive. Why the fuck would you agree to a ceasefire with a group of people who fucking burnt children alive? It just doesn't make any fucking logical sense. It's stupid. The whole fucking idea of a ceasefire is fucking dumb.
I'm telling you what my position is. My position is man-to-man combat.
Which is what they're doing now.
No, that part of it is understandable. Do you understand?
That's what they're doing.
No problem. But what I think is not understandable, what is not acceptable, because you said, what's a proportionate response? That's the question you keep asking everybody. My answer to you is a proportionate response is one where in which the ratio...
Why in the fuck would you expect a proportionate response? Why does there need to be... Okay, so... Should Israel, allow fucking Hamas to kill more innocent civilians so that they can kill more Hamas members? It's so stupid.
Those are not 100 to 1 on the...
your invention.
Excuse me, please.
Yeah, he's totally inventing that stat, by the way. Where the fuck is the stat 100 to 1 coming from? Again, it doesn't even make any sense because the objective with these bombings isn't even necessarily to kill as many Hamas members as possible.
Where'd that come from? What's your source?
Like, if they had an interest in killing as many Hamas members as possible, they wouldn't give warning before the bombings.
Okay, tell me the source. Tell me the source.
IDF.
The
IDF.
Yeah, sure. Tell me when did they say it?
They said,
I know all the IDF spokespersons. I know Jonathan
Daniel
Conricus. Daniel Hagari said what? When?
Okay, so let me
say, no.
Excuse me.
When did he say we're killing Palestinians 100 to 1?
10 days ago, and it's mentioned on a website. I'll tell you
the truth is, they don't.
He never said this is pure fabrication.
Let me finish. You asked me a source.
Which website?
You asked me a source.
Which website?
You asked me a source.
Al Jazeera?
No.
Is it Al Jazeera?
You've asked me a question, right?
Okay.
Are you scared to hear the response?
Go ahead.
Okay, the response is as follows. The Guardian has reported that the IDF have said that in terms of the numbers of Hamas that have been killed, I'm answering this question.
I know.
The Hamas that have been killed, they say, quote unquote, dozens. Now listen.
Hamas or civilians? You said civilians.
No,
wait a minute.
You said civilians.
Wait a minute.
I'm telling you where I got the 100 to 1 ratio.
Mohammed.
100 to 1 ratio comes from
the numbers have
There's 10,000 civilians.
So he's admitting he invented the numbers. He's just fabricating it.
The number 60 is actually more than 100 to 1.
As soon as you call him out on anything, he has no sources. He has
no one can hear what
primary
he's
sources.
saying.
Okay.
Let me respond to him.
This is a blood libel,
Let me respond.
Pierce. The Jews have a right to respond
I'm about
to a blood
question
libel.
him.
It's a blood libel.
Here's the reality. I read that report. That was about at least 2 weeks ago, right?
10 days, yeah.
The numbers have changed a lot.
Yes, they have.
Israel now believe they've killed a lot more Hamas. They don't know exactly how many, because actually, how do you tell on the ground
By the way,
sometimes
Piers,
to the
one
Hamas fighter and a member of the general population?
Do you know, according to the IDF, and we've done a study on the names that they put on X, they had 1,280 names that they put on X, and according to Haaretz, they put, Haaretz is, as you know, is a left-wing newspaper in Israel. They also put the names of those who have been killed. Guess what? According to them, 340 military have been killed, which means Hamas's ratio of combatant to non-combatant is 3 to 1. Imagine Hamas is doing a better job in protecting civilians than Israel. 3 to
What? This is insane. Like, that's just not true.
1.
I would say that Hamas, by what they did on October the 7th.
What?
1 versus 3 to 1.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Speaking of Israel/Hamas and calling for ceasefire, check out this clip of how many times Israel actually made a ceasefire with Hamas. It is mind-blowing and dumb fuck libtards choose to ignore.
Well, yeah, so basically what they've agreed to do is periodically stop firing to allow for humanitarian aid.
Strip wants a ceasefire. Let me explain to you why. In 2005, Israel left Gaza and transferred the control to the Palestinian Authority. In 2006, the Hamas movement comes to power and the people of the Palestinian Authority. In the same year, Hamas infiltrates Israel and kidnaps the soldier Gilad Shalit. All this is happening when the southern villages are under rocket fire on a daily basis. After a long period of silence in 2008, Israel started Operation Oferet Yetzuka in order to stop the rockets. After several days of fighting, Israel ceases fire. Hamas accepts a ceasefire. Hamas continues to launch rockets. And Israel showed restraint. In 2012, Israel embarks another operation, Amud Anan, with the aim of severely damaging Hamas and ending the rocket fire. Finally, a ceasefire agreement was signed between Israel and Hamas, coordinated by Egypt. As part of the agreement, Hamas pledged to stop all attacks on Israeli territory from the Gaza Strip. Hamas accepts a ceasefire. Hamas continues to launch rockets. And Israel showed restraint. In 2014, Hamas kidnapped 3 Jewish boys. In response to this and to the unceasing rocket fire, Israel embarks on Operation Tzuk Eitan with the aim of ending the rocket fire once and for all. But again, after several days of fighting, Israel agreed to a ceasefire on the condition that Hamas stop firing rockets. Hamas accepts a ceasefire. Hamas continues to launch rockets. And Israel showed restraint. In the entire period that comes after Tzuk Eitan operation, Hamas continues to launch rockets, incendiary balloons.
Okay, I get it. Thanks for the donation though, Ben.
How are you feeling tonight? Is your depression under control? Any new Frank vids?
Not feeling great tonight. My depression is not under control. And my doctor changed my meds, but unfortunately I was not able to get the new meds today because the pharmacy was dragging their feet. So, yeah, I have to wait till tomorrow to get the new meds. But I don't know if there's any new Frank vids. Let me take a look. Nope. Looks like there's just a few new shorts. Dear God, this is fucking stupid. So we'll watch the Frank shorts. Thanks for the donation, James.
Everyone hates me. Probably not worth spending the holidays. People who disrespect me. Probably better to spend it alone.
Yeah, probably. There's always hentai. You're never alone with hentai. Thanks for the donation, Master Chief. Or, Oinker, I mean.
Tell Fohammer I'm requesting reinforcements at our position. I need more Marines like fucking yesterday.
Okay, I will be sure to tell him. Thanks for the donation, dude.
Hey man, sent you a message on Insta. Hit me back, I have cute dog pics to sweeten the deal. Also, fuck Islam, 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 fuck Islam. Herka Durka Muhammad Jihad.
Okay, I will take a look at Instagram later. Thanks for that donation, Vegan Man. Let's see.
This is magnesium oil.
Can't even hear anything.
What's up, guys? We are down at the Frankie's Free Range Meat Warehouse, sending out our last few turkey orders. So if you... There are many modern dietary...
Can't hear anything. Can't hear anything.
You can only donate blood every 2 months. But if you have dangerously high iron levels, the doctor can actually prescribe you to get phlebotomies once a week. They take blood out...
Can't hear anything.
Start donating blood.
Can't hear anything. Yeah.
Mass. Wait a minute. Ordered by doing what they did, they ordered de facto the disintegration of northern Gaza that we're seeing.
Of course.
And
all the civilians
and the
suffering.
deaths
Have you seen
the
this?
deaths
Pierce,
of
sure.
thousands
Let him
of
finish,
civilians.
let him finish.
They knew what was going to happen.
I agree with that.
So that's why they should go.
Pierce,
Rabbi Shmuley.
in 2005, Israel unilaterally withdrew from Gaza and allowed, Hamas won an election in 2006. They could have built Singapore. You know what they did? They took larger foreign aid per capita than all of Europe received from the Marshall Plan. And look what France and Britain, look how beautiful London is. They took that money and they bought bullets and bombs. They did not build hospitals, not schools. They stole it from the Palestinian people. Ismail Haniyeh is worth $4 billion.
I don't care about
Khalid
it.
Mashal is worth $4 billion.
Why are you talking about him?
Call him an evil criminal. You're afraid to. Because he won't. See, he will never condemn Hamas because
he has condemned
No,
Hamas.
go ahead.
I've
heard him do it.
Excuse me.
Wait, no. He condemned Hamas's attack. He's never condemned Hamas.
Well, let me ask you, do you condemn Hamas?
On what basis?
Here we go. See?
No, hold on.
There you go.
Do you accept now that
let me ask you a question.
Every answer is on what basis? On what this? On this? What's your source?
Let him
Even
answer.
if you ask me, if you do condemn the IDF, I'd say specify your context. In what exact context do
You defend Hamas as a terrorist organization that just went and killed 1,200 people, burned them alive, beheaded them, and took 250 hostages. Do you condemn them or not? Do you condemn them or not? Get your head into the debate, and do you condemn them or not?
Do 3 sit-ups right now. Your sit-up bench is getting dustier by the day. Israel Palestine Israel Palestine Israel Palestine Israel Palestine Israel Palestine Israel Palestine. Sometimes my balls sweat when I dream of taking a piss. Is this normal? Are you gay?
Yes to all those questions. You're a jackass. Thanks for the donation, haha. I'm just gonna go take a piss, then I'll do the sit-ups. There you go. Whoopee fucking diddly do. Fucking hate everything.
Those turkeys should be in the freezer. Makes me wonder if Frank is storing the rest of his food properly. So, what changes were made to your meds?
I'm being put on a different antipsychotic for mood stability.
I'm unsure to whom this message will be delivered, however I would very much like to submit a complaint to YouTube. This live stream is not playing. The video has been frozen for the past 2 minutes. I see an empty chair and screen just frozen.
That's great, you're a dumbass. Thanks for the donation, Morpheus. Yeah, so the antipsychotic I'm on is being switched because the one I'm on right now isn't working. So, yeah, that's the change to my medication. Thanks for the donation, James.
Hitler was elected Chancellor of Germany with only 43.9% of the vote. But since anti-Hitler forces were divided, Hitler won. Hitler made himself dictator and abolished free elections. We must not allow history to repeat. P.S. Third party vote is a vote for Trump.
Yes, that is all true. Thanks for the donation, Ben. This is a good cat. Love you, Wim Wim.
Would some twerking and more sit-ups help your depression?
Well, sure as hell couldn't hurt. I wouldn't mind the exercise. Thanks for the donation, James. Dreamsation Detailers Having Gains, do you do any CBT/psychotherapy? Do you believe in it? I'm going to do some psychotherapy soon. I don't know what CBT is, though. Thanks for that donation, Dreamsation.
You thought you were done, but now you're getting M. Night Shyamalan, and I need 3 more sit-ups. Scoot, 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 scoot. How the tables have turned.
Okay, I'll do those sit-ups in a few minutes. Thanks for the donation, haha.
What do you think will happen this next election year? Prob some riots and civil unrest at the least.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be crazy, wacko, insane shit, or it's just going to be, I don't know, more normal. Could go either way. Could be lots of riding and shit.
How many songs and sit-ups?
How about one song, 200 sit-ups? I'm not really too much in the mood for too much twerking, but like one song, I think I can handle just fine. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I'll just do 2 songs, 200 sit-ups. Probably should just move around more. Thanks for the donation, though, James. Appreciate it.
See, this is a debating tactic.
It's 2-on-1 now.
Let him answer.
Let him answer.
It's 2-on-1. It's become 2-on-1.
Let him answer.
You're not a victim. Stop the victim, but now it's 2-on-1. Stop the victim. You love portraying yourself as a strong man. Now you're a victim. It's 2-on-1. You probably could take 2-on-1. So answer it. Answer the question. Is Hamas a terror organization you condemn? Yes,
is that something you and your
is
daughter
Hamas
said?
a terror organization
Probably can take 2-on-1.
that you?
It's a reasonable question because you asked me, is the IDF a terror
Okay, beautiful. I'll answer your question directly. Hamas is as much a terrorist organization. No, Hamas shouldn't be called a terror organization if the IDF isn't. Why?
Okay.
Because if it's either both or not.
There we are. This is
either both or neither.
Okay, but just to
neither.
extrapolate your position, because you believe the IDF is, then you're also saying that Hamas is.
Let me tell you my position.
Then say it.
Hang on.
Say it. Say it.
I'm not going to speak.
Rabbi Shmuley, let me get the answer.
The unholy Shmuley won't let me speak.
Right, I'm asking you a question.
At least that was funny. That was the first rhyme you did the whole time. Maybe we could be friends.
Let me ask
it again.
Given you've already stated you believe the IDF is a terror organization.
Yeah.
Am I to assume
legally or morally?
that you believe...
Legally or morally?
Well, hang on.
Go on.
Am I to assume that you believe Hamas is now?
No, this is my position. But you have to give me 10 seconds at least to answer, right? Legally, I think you shouldn't call Hamas a terrorist organization if you're not calling IDF a terrorist organization. That's my position.
But you do both.
Hold on.
Call them terror
Hold on.
Let him answer.
Hold on. Let me finish. Because as we said, the UN definition of what a terrorist organization is to kill civilians in order to achieve a political objective. However, on a moral and
the IDF is not killing civilians in order to fulfill a political objective.
Theological, philosophical level, I agree with Rosalind Higgins, who was the justice of the International Criminal Court, right? The Court of Justice, ICJ, a British justice. By the way, she was a Holocaust survivor as well. She was Jewish. And her position is that she believes that the word terrorism or terrorist is actually useless. And she says that I'm putting to her...
can you answer my question?
He's just dodging. They're asking for his opinion, not some fucking random bitch.
Do you eat dried soybeans? Aside from soaking, is it better to pressure cook them or to boil them to help retain their nutrients after cooking? Thanks.
Occasionally I'll have like dried, salted, or flavored edamame. Is it better to pressure cook or boil? I don't know. Who cares? Cook them however you want. It really doesn't matter. Thanks for that donation, Sean.
Would you like to do the lunged work? And also 200 sit-ups?
How much money are we talking with the long twerk?
Make the case for Biden as prey. He's your candidate, right? GRRRRR8 tonight. A big Lenny VHS tape.
Make the case for Biden as president. He's the only viable candidate who has base takes on important geopolitical issues. Thanks for that donation, Oinker. How much money are we talking about for the long twerk? And I could do 200 sit-ups just fine. Thanks for that donation, James.
He's going on for 10 minutes just to evade the question.
Let me finish. So I'm answering your question. So I'm saying that as a moral construct...
Yeah, I think for the long twerk, I'd have to have like 1,000. That's a lot. 1,000 plus, well, 1,000 including the sit-ups.
I think it's a neo-colonial social construct used by people in order to label some people as terrorists and other people as not. So as a moral category, I don't designate it as a moral category. But as a legal category.
Do you believe, do you personally, Mohammed Hijab, do you believe that the IDF and Hamas are both terror organizations?
I think yes. If you say yes to IDF, you should say yes to Hamas. If you say no to IDF,
that's what I'm asking you. What you
Hamas
believe?
is a terrorist organization.
What you believe?
If you say yes to IDF, you can say yes to Hamas.
No, I'm asking you what you believe.
Yes, I believe legally, according to the definition. If you say yes to Hamas, you can say yes to the IDF.
Pierce, we could go on for the next.
We are going to the next.
But if you say no to the IDF, you can't say
it's fine. We're going to the next. We're going to the next block. But that's interesting.
But morally, I don't believe the category has any weight.
No, but
morally has no designation.
But you have made your position clear.
Claiming the term terrorist means nothing is an insane claim. So if somebody called him a terrorist, or if you looked up like his social, if you look on one of these social credit websites, sometimes they'll list if you have any criminal convictions. It like if somebody called him a terrorist, that would mean nothing to him. Like that term terrorism means nothing. So if he was designated a terrorist by, Interpol, he wouldn't care?
Which is that you believe they're both terror organizations.
I believe that according to the law, absolutely.
Okay, and that's interesting to me. Okay,
but I have to say,
wait. Let's come to
when
the
you
next.
call the IDF a terror organization, the IDF keeps 1.8 million Arabs alive in Israel.
100 to 1 ratio.
The Hamas, this is invention. It's a fabrication.
Let me move on to the last
Get
block.
more pictures out. It's unbelievable.
Rabbi,
this is how you lose a debate when the need to bring. I brought nothing with me.
It could be like this.
No, my son
he could be dead like that.
My son is in the IDF. You're here in the safety of a studio talking about how you want to do martyrdom. You're really risking your life here, Mom. You're big talk.
Your son could be dead right now.
You attack Ben Shapiro's wife.
Your son is an IDF.
Sengoku donated $2. Are these RDLs or stiff leg deadlifts? They're the same thing. Also, am I getting enough hip hinge? I think I'm getting limited movement because of my anatomy. So stiff leg deadlifts and RDLs are the same thing. The only advice I'd have for you is to slow down the eccentric. And that's plenty range of motion. The range of motion's plenty. I just say slow down the eccentric. If you feel like you could increase the range of motion, you can use a wider grip, so you can use like a snatch grip. But yeah, those look good. I would just say slow down the eccentric, and if you want more range of motion, either do them with a deficit, or you can just widen your grip. Just use a very wide grip. Thanks for the donation, Sengoku.
You actually posted a clip saying that someone else saying that Islam teaches you how to get women to listen to their husbands. This is all false bravado, false machismo.
Your son,
if you're a real man, go to the Middle East and fight. What are you doing in a television studio?
Fight with him.
Can we move to the last one?
You should be there. You have the right to fight with the IDF.
No, I'm not.
You use your son as a human shield.
You try to bully people in debates, and it's being allowed.
He's using his son as a human shield.
I want to move to the last ironically themed subject.
How about $800 for both? The long twerk would give you some nice physical exercise. There is research that indicates that vigorous physical exercise releases hormones that help to fight depression.
Alright, sure, we can do that. Why not? And I'm assuming it's the Stars on 45 remix. Feel nervous about doing it. You know what? How about we just do a normal twerk session and then, like in a week or something, do the long twerk, because I haven't done any twerking in quite a while. I don't know if I can really handle it. How about just do 1 or 2 songs for tonight and then see how I feel after. Thanks for the donation though, James. Appreciate it.
A few days ago, some pro-Palestine were shouting anti-Semitic phrases and throwing rocks at Jewish students at my university. Police had to escort the Jewish student back to their homes and there's an investigation ongoing. Why are people like this?
People are like this because people are retarded. Thanks for the donation, Rocky. Dreamsation donators, I'm spending next week with my family for Thanksgiving. I assume most of them are Palestine simps and will be saying so much stupid stuff that I'll be drawn into an argument with them. I've been thinking of gathering sources to cite from. What do you recommend? You have to use a variety of different sources that are third-party and verified. There's no one single source you can use. Thanks for that donation, Dreamsation.
Peace possible. Okay. Not on this basis, right? But we've got to try and get to peace. So you get a minute.
Sengoku donators, also leg press gains. For some reason, I can leg press a ton of weight compared to how much I can squat. Well, it's fairly normal, especially with certain leg press machines. But that is fairly normal. You didn't give me a link, though, for the video. Thanks for that donation, Sengoku. Yeah, you people are like, oh my god, passing up on an hour twerk, like, buddy. And then when I agree to it, everybody complains, oh, the stream's ruined now. Oh, I'm leaving. Fucking give me a break.
Minute each again. Mohammed, you'll go first this time. So you get a minute from now.
Okay, so I just want to say that this man is...
No. Is peace ever possible?
I've got a minute uninterrupted.
Is peace ever possible?
Can I speak for
That sounds fine with me. You choose the songs.
Alright, well thank you, James. Very generous of you, sir. Really appreciate that. And yes, I shall choose the songs. Thanks again, man. Sengoku donate tellers. Oh shit, I forgot the link. Let me see. Yeah, the leg press looks nice. Good range of motion. Yeah, I am not a big fan of the leg press. Just the amount of weight you can use, it just kind of freaks me out. So the way a lot of them are set up, if they were set up in a way where range of motion was increased, and you had greater amount of knee flexion with less weight, I think they'd be, one, a lot safer, and they'd be a lot more effective for quad development. But a lot of them are just set up in a way where you can use so much weight, it's kind of ridiculous. But, yeah, those look like some good leg presses. Thanks for the donation, Sengoku.
Twerk on, Richard. Thanks, James.
I shall do some twerking after we do sit-ups. Thanks for the donation, Vivian, though.
Interrupted.
No, you've got to speak about the subject.
I can say what? Well, he's been attacking me.
Don't attack him personally. We're not going to use it. It's pointless. Okay. I'm going to take it, just for the record, we'll put it on YouTube so people can see it all in context, right? But on my show, I'm just not going to have half of this, what I thought was going to be a serious debate, taken up with you two personally abusing each other.
Bismarck
it's pointless.
Von Bismarck said, I repay people with the currency that they pay.
Yo, nigger Burgess. Nigerian Burgess. Black Ass Burgess. Nappy Hair Burgess. Black Mandingo Burgess. Yo. When you finna eat that nigger Jasmine and get yourself a fine black woman. Remember, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice, my boy. Cheers, nigger.
All right, well, thank you for that, I guess. Appreciate the donation. Poopy stinks.
Me with.
Right.
If he's going to come with ad hominems, as you've acknowledged, I can come back with
Right, but you did, and you shouldn't have done, because you had the high moral ground.
Ad hominems?
No, I
you
believe
don't.
this.
Man
No, I
is
believe I can
bringing,
do it.
man is bringing up
You've
Jewish
both been
sex
as bad as each other.
non-stop in
You've
this
both
entire
been as
debate.
bad as
Where
each
have I
other.
even mentioned that?
On the personal stuff, you've been as bad as each other. Let's start again. You get a minute from now. Is peace ever possible? Go.
Justice is a prerequisite for peace. In South Africa, when the apartheid system, which we know for a fact Israel is an apartheid state because it has laws like the right of return, which only allow Jewish people to come into the country. And if they
That does not make it an apartheid state. You could call a law like that racist, but that does not make it an apartheid state.
they convert, by the way, to Christianity or to Islam, they are stripped from that right, it meets completely the definition of apartheid as per Cornell Law School and according to the UN Convention 1973. It's an apartheid system. And as a prerequisite of an apartheid system, you have to be a racist. If you support that, you're a racist, no doubt about it. So number one, 1973 apartheid law. If the black South Africans have been displaced, by the whites, and then they would try to come back into their country and they were not allowed. And then you ask them, is peace possible? That's not the question we'd be asking them. We'd be asking them, is justice possible? And that's the question that we're going to be asking. Because he can sit there and talk about all these things where the IDF, his son Mendy is being attacked vibrated by the rockets, and he's selling him and his daughter selling vibrators to the public.
Unnecessary thing at the end again.
I hope you keep that in.
Rabbi
Please keep it in.
Shuli, 1 minute on, is peace ever possible?
Of course. I revere countries like the United Arab.
Kid Boo donators, what do you think of this shit, nigga? Let me see.
You know, I hear a lot of women talk about how they secured independence through joining the workforce, and there's an argument to be made there. I also think this idea of like liberation and empowerment through
Twerk, make that ass go to work. Pull your penis out and I wanna see you jerk.
Sure, I'll do that. Thanks for the nation, Rhymy.
working, like the women of the 1800s in America, they did not see themselves by and large as oppressed. Like they knew where their domain was and that was in the home. They had pride in mastering that. And they raised awesome families and they were awesome wives, and there was dignity in that position. Like to be a great homemaker, it's a very important role, right? I think
this is just such a lie. Women were treated like shit. The amount of fucking spousal abuse that was going on at the time was massive, and that was largely due to rampant alcoholism. The idea that your average woman was happy and content with their lives is just ridiculous.
getting women out of that position and into the workforce for the people at the top who run this whole society, now all of a sudden you have twice the amount of people that are working in industry to support this entire capitalist superstructure and then paying taxes. It's possible that...
I don't care. Who cares?
Arab Emirates,
stupid,
Dubai, Abu Dhabi, where I've spoken several times. I am safer as a Jew wearing a yarmulke in Dubai and Abu Dhabi than I am on the campus of Columbia University or even Harvard these days. The Mohammed bin Zayed is just an incredible leader. I saw in the Gulf states the Islam that Mohammed hijab rejects, but the Islamic world embraces. That's why they made peace with Israel. It's a technologically advanced, tolerant, forward-looking, very traditional, very religious Islam, and that's why they've made peace with Israel, and peace will continue to be made. All of these countries are praying for Israel to destroy Hamas, because Mohammed hijab is an outlier. He's an extremist, and his views, as he represents them at Speaker's Corner of things about women being subject. Okay. But let me just be clear. All of the Arab countries want Hamas destroyed. And the proof is, when they had their conference in Riyadh last week, they did not even once call to bring in any evacuees because they want Israel to establish a more democratic regime in Gaza, which they will do. Israel's winning this war.
Here's my follow-up to both of you, right? Just give me a very, very quick snapshot of, in 20 years' time, how peace could have been achieved. Very quickly.
Okay, the first thing is, when Israel withdrew in 2005, almost 20 years ago, if Hamas had not come to power, if they had taken all the international aid that they got, tens of billions of dollars, peace would have been achieved by building businesses, entrepreneurship,
how do we get
schools.
there now?
Okay, we get there now by destroying Hamas, making sure that there's democratic elections, let the Palestinian people, not Mohammed hijab, not Shmuel B'Tayach, not
you both agree Hamas should be gone, right? We can agree on this, right?
We agreed that there should be a bigger Palestinian Authority with armies and airplanes.
And on that we do have agreement.
And the way we have peace,
they should have tanks.
In the history of the world, no two democratic
and rockets
powers have ever gone to war. That's why since the end of the Second World War, there's been no war here in Europe. We need to see a democratic Gaza. Hamas won an election in 2006.
There's a war in Europe now, by the way.
Correct, because it's against a tyranny. I said no two democracies ever gone to war. Putin is not a democracy. He's a tyrant. In the history of the world, no two democracies ever fought a war. We have a democracy in Gaza.
So what does peace look like in 20 years?
Peace looks like the Arabs voting for their rulers, voting and backing them, seeing Israel as a partner, not being humiliated that because of this tiny little red dot surrounded, that's humiliation.
Two-state solution?
I'll tell you. If two-state solution is a Hamas state wanting to eviscerate Israel,
he doesn't believe in it.
But he doesn't believe in a two-state solution. He believes in a final solution. That's what really scares me. You don't believe in a two-state solution. You believe in a final solution. The way you speak about Jews, you believe in a final solution, and it scares you.
Do you believe in a two-state solution?
I love Jewish people.
If that second state is Mexico
Jewish
and
people
Canada,
are fantastic people.
If that second state is Gaza, then of course not, because it'll just become another genocidal enemy wanting to wipe Israel off the map.
That's pretty unequivocal. He doesn't really want a two-state solution.
I don't want a two-state solution. That's a terrorist state to destroy Israel.
I personally believe this whole question should be left to the Palestinians of what kind of solution they want. However, having said that, this man has written in his book, A War in Israel, that is the settlements.
I didn't write a book called The War in Israel.
It's called the Israel Warrior, something like that.
Thank you. Thanks for plugging that.
Fantastic.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
In that book, he writes that the issue of settlements that me and you both condemn, Piers.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, we do. He doesn't condemn it because he sees an ancient biblical reason to be in that whole land.
I think Arabs and Israelis should be able to live wherever they want. I want Arabs to live in Jerusalem. I want Arabs to live in Tel Aviv. I want Jews to live there. I don't believe in the Uterine Israel. I don't believe in Arab. I am so proud that Israel has 1.8 million Arab Muslim citizens who are protected by the IDF. He calls the IDF a terrorist. They are defending Muslim lives.
What you should be less proud of is the rapid expansion of these settlements on the West Bank.
That's
it has been incredibly divisive.
Do you condemn that?
It's been, in my view, illegal. It's been declared illegal.
Illegal by everyone's view.
Well, Pierce,
human rights.
There are many things I'll defend Israel about. That is indefensible.
But let me answer. If you go to places in Judea and Samaria and the West Bank,
why do you call it Judea and Samaria?
Because those are the biblical lands.
Who cares?
Why do you call something Arabia? It's where the Arabs are from. Judea is where the Jews are from. Now, you don't know history. It was always Judea and Samaria. The West Bank is the West Bank of a river. We don't call California the West Bank of the Mississippi River. Now, let me go back.
Call it Canaan.
If you go to the Barkan Industrial Park in Judea and Samaria, you will see, I've met the Palestinians, I've interviewed them. They are paid 20 times the salary working for people you call settlers. They want them there. It brings civilization. It's only jihadis who don't want it. It's only jihadis, and that's why.
Let's see. Free donated $2. Let me take a look. Great.
Bricks in the attic, send me automatic. I dare that nigga to run up on me. I hit him up with that static. Always look up in your rear view mirror to make sure that them fuck nigga coast is clear. Niggas hating on me cause I probably took they hoe. You fucking with me, yo.
Well, I guess Aaron P isn't quite dead yet. Thanks for the donation, Free. Come on. Okay, go pee pee. Come on, go pee pee. Okay.
That's not true.
Yes, it is true.
That's not true.
I've interviewed them
I know
myself.
many Palestinians
Can I
I've
just
spoken
make
to
a-
who
can I-
definitely do
look,
not
okay,
want
do
them
you know-
to
you know-
continue
excuse
the
me,
settlement.
You know
Let me come to
Palestinians want to live under Mahmoud Abbas with no democracy,
Let me come to Mohammed.
and afraid to criticize
Let
him and
Mohammed
throw into
speak.
jail.
Mohammed.
Yes, my friend Mohammed. Go ahead, Mohammed. Please, please,
be a
please.
conversation, Shmuley.
You're wearing my favorite blue color. Of course, I'll let you speak.
Fantastic.
Thank
For
you.
that reason?
Yes,
Brilliant.
thank you.
What, just because I'm wearing the blue?
My mother loved that color, and she
Did
passed away
I
this
thought it
year,
was.
so it reminds me of it. So
I
thank
thought
you.
it would have
Thank
been
you.
because of Israel, because you.
Oh, that's right. You wore the Israeli colors today. Mohammed, my brother, can we shake hands?
No, please. I don't want to, because your hands are
Really?
shaking. Your
Oh, I'm
hands are
sorry,
shaking.
but I mean, look how peaceful.
Why
it is.
are your hands
You wouldn't shake my hand.
No, I'll shake hands with you.
You wouldn't shake my hand?
After what you said today about me, I can't shake your hand. But here's what I'm
After
gonna
what you
excuse
said
me,
about my sex life, and I'm shaking your hand.
Stop. I just want to say.
You won't shake my hand.
Do you know-
Let him speak.
You won't shake my hand.
The problem
Rabbi,
is
let him speak.
That's really sad. I guess there will be no peace.
What he said there is a little bit telling, because the blue colors in Israel and all that kind of stuff. He defended Dershowitz, which was Jeffrey Epstein's lawyer, for that very reason, because he's a supporter of Israel.
I defended
I wanna know,
Dershowitz.
did you go?
Dershowitz and I fought over him going to
defended
Qatar.
him.
You don't know anything.
You wrote on the Observer.
You're
You wrote on the Observer.
You're abysmal.
You wrote on the
Ignorance
Observer.
is shocking.
Irrelevant.
Me
You
and
wrote on the
Alan
Observer.
Dershowitz had a huge
It's
fight
irrelevant.
over
Did you go
him
to the island?
defending Qatar.
Did you go to the island?
Who
Now,
gives,
come on, guys.
Did I
Get
go
back to
to
topic.
Did you go to the island?
Mohammed.
Yeah.
Mohammed.
Anyway,
Really,
20 years
really,
time.
Mohammed, wait,
20 years
you see,
time.
you see,
No,
this
I don't
is,
care about
this is not
Alan
a debate.
Dershowitz. I know Alan
This is a
Dershowitz.
slugfest.
We're not
This is a
going to use
mudfest.
the
This is
stuff about Alan
disgusting.
Dershowitz. Forget it.
What is
right?
your obsession with sex?
Yeah,
Who
okay,
gleefully
fine.
recorded it, boasted
See,
about
now-
it,
see, now-
I saw it.
and
Fine.
the Hamas official. Wait a minute.
It's on the UN website.
Okay. That's as much as I can tolerate of that.
Genuine opinion. Is it still worth simping over my hot art teacher that mentioned early Islamic beliefs revolved around giving women power and independence? She supported this by saying women could leave their husbands in Islamic culture. Thoughts?
Yeah, they couldn't. That's a lie. So women were forced to be with their husbands. This is a practice that's continued to this day. Muslim men could also keep concubines. So you could have sex slaves in Islam. That's a complete and utter falsehood. Thanks for the donation, Josh. Kid Boo donated $2, moron gets wrecked. Let me see.
You're just one other person say, my God is the real one. No, my God is the real one. No, my God is the real one. No, my God is the real one. And what is the reason all of you give? We all have personal experiences that contradict everybody else's personal experience. So you ain't got shit. Your personal experience doesn't matter.
Whether I saw it for myself or didn't, that does matter. That's
Not in a debate, it doesn't. I often say that the truth is what the facts are because I don't want people claiming things to be truth that they can't show the truth of it.
I can't tell you that I ate lunch today and call that a truth.
Sagan's dilemma when he says extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. You make an extraordinary claim, have profound evidence to back it up.
Well, that's what we do. That's a
But
missionary's
that's not what you
objective.
do. That for me. Show me the profound evidence. You're just
Well, yeah. They're stupid, so. What do you expect from a dumbass? Thanks for the donation, though, Kid Boo. Let's see. Prophet Muhammad and Aisha's adultery.
Al-Ifk means the untruthful talk. The Al-Ifk incident was about an event behind the revelation of Quran, Surah An-Nur, verses 11 to 26. It was time for Prophet Muhammad and his army to launch a Ghazwa, which is a military expedition that was led by the Prophet himself. To cover his living expenses, he had to do this several times a year. It was customary for Prophet Muhammad to take one of his wives with him. This time, he picked Aisha to accompany him in his campaign against the tribe of Bani al-Mustalik. The campaign was an easy success, because the Muslims suddenly attacked the people of Bani al-Mustalik when they watered their cattle. Most of the men were killed, and their wives and children were taken as slaves.
Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, I'm doing that.
Among the captives was Juwariya, the beautiful wife of the tribe's chief, named Muzafi bin Safwan. The Muslims killed him during the attack. The Islamic history.
I would rather watch the latest Frank shorts.
Well, we can't watch them because Frank made the volume so low you can't hear anything, so, can't. Thanks for that donation though, James.
Sources explain that Juwariya was one of the most beautiful women in Arabia. She was an eloquent woman, who was brought up as a princess.
I hated that woman from the first sight because of her stunning beauty. I know what will happen if my husband, Prophet Muhammad, sees her.
Aisha couldn't be more right. Prophet Muhammad immediately promoted Juwariya from slave to his wife.
In just a short time he added 2 new wives, Zainab and Juwariya.
The Prophet and his troops stayed in that land for 3 days. When they invaded a town, they would not allow anyone to convert to Islam for 3 days. During these 3 days they would collect the booty. The Prophet got his 20% share, and then he divided the rest for his troops. After 3 days, Prophet Muhammad and the Muslim army left to go back to Medina. According to Aisha, as the Muslim army had an overnight stop on the way back to Medina, she felt the need to leave the camp to answer the call of nature.
Oh, I need to go now.
Her return to the camp was delayed because she lost her necklace.
Oh, I think I dropped my necklace. I better search for it.
When she came back to the camp, she found the site was already empty.
Oh no! They already left without me. I hope Prophet Muhammad will realize that I am missing, and he will return to look for me.
As it turned out, Prophet Muhammad did not come back to rescue her, and did not even notice her absence until his arrival to Medina. Maybe he was too busy with his new, beautiful, and young wife, Juwariya.
What now?
Luckily, Safwan bin al-Mu'attal, the rear guard of Muhammad's army, arrived there.
Oh, that's Aisha. What is she doing here?
Safwan bin al-Mu'attal offered Aisha a ride on his camel. After that, he took her to Medina. According to Sahih Bukhari, that was the story told by Aisha. It implies that she spent more time in that desert loop than the time it took the army to prepare to move and actually leave the place and completely disappear from sight. It also implies that she did not hear or see.
You will need to download Audacity, paste Frank's URLs into a YouTube MP4 converter. Import those MP4s into Audacity and amplify the volume by 500%. At that point, Frank will be vaguely audible.
I don't think that's worth it, but thanks for the donation, Banshee Pimpin'.
Sense the movement of an army of 700 men, with their women, horses, camels, captives and slaves.
So she's probably trying to get away from Prophet Muhammad.
The sight of Aisha
Deliberately.
and Safwan bin al-Mu'attal entering the city of Medina was a remarkable oddity considering the situation and prevailing culture. The incident set off people to talk, although the couple denied any wrongdoing.
Of course, there is nothing between us.
Allah is our witness.
According to Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, the leader of Al-Khazraj tribe, Aisha committed adultery.
The Prophet said that whenever a man and a woman are alone, the Satan is their third. I and my friends, Hassan bin Thabit, Mr. bin Athanta, and Hamna binti Jahash.
Will we be seeing more of Aunt Jemima 8 in today's episode?
I don't know. Thanks for the donation, Cock.
Saw what happened between Aisha and Safwan bin al-Mu'attal. They committed zina.
That was a very serious accusation, because the Islamic punishment of zina is rajam or stoning to death. After she arrived at Medina, Aisha was ill and stayed in her parents' house.
I was sick, and did not know about the ill rumors about me. Rasul Allah didn't treat me as kind as usually when I was sick.
Prophet Muhammad also felt suspicious if Aisha committed adultery, that was why he did not come to visit Aisha often.
This greatly disturbs me. My favorite wife is accused of adultery, with so many witnesses. By Islamic law, I will have to stone her to death, but I can't lose her. What should I do?
Out of his confusion, Prophet Muhammad called Ali bin Abi Talib and Usama bin Zaid to have some advice.
Should I divorce Aisha?
O Rasulallah, she is your wife, and we do not know anything about her except good.
O Rasulallah, Allah does not impose restrictions on you, and there are plenty of women other than her. However, if you ask her slave girl, she will tell you the truth.
Then call her slave girl.
Barira, Aisha's slave girl, was summoned to meet Prophet Muhammad.
Oh Barira, did you ever see anything which might have aroused your suspicion about Aisha?
No, Rasulallah.
Where was she on the night in the desert?
I don't know, Ya Rasulullah.
Tell the truth.
I don't know what else to say.
How come Barira didn't know that Aisha's howdah was empty? Why Safwan bin al-Mu'attal was so far behind? This problem would not have happened if bin Salul hadn't spread the news that Aisha committed adultery. I will punish him.
Prophet Muhammad gathered his followers in his masjid. He asked for a volunteer to get rid of Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, the powerful leader of the Khazraj tribe, who were the Muslim Ansar of Medina. This is proof that the Prophet did not hesitate to kill his Muslim followers who hurt his feelings.
Who will support me to punish Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul, who has hurt me by slandering the reputation of my family? By Allah, I know nothing about my family but good, and they have accused a person, about whom I know nothing except good, and he never entered my house, except in my company.
Sa'ad bin Mu'ad, the chief of the Awaz tribe in Medina, answered,
O Rasulullah! By Allah, I will relieve you from him. If that man is from the tribe of the Awaz, then we will chop his head off, and if he is from our brothers, the Khazraj, then order us, and we will fulfill your order.
On that, a Muslim named Sa'ad bin Ubadah, who was the chief of the Sa'ida clan of the Khazraj tribe, said,
By Allah, you have told a lie. I won't let you, and you will never be able to kill him.
By Allah, you are a liar. We will certainly kill him, and you are a hypocrite, defending the hypocrites.
Watch your mouth, you filth.
Stop it. Stop the fighting. Hey, I said, stop, okay?
After that, Prophet Muhammad left the masjid.
These Muslim Muhajirun want to spread chaos in my city? We will not let them hurt our chief Abdullah bin Ubay bin Salul. No way.
The residents of Medina expected Aisha's case to be resolved immediately, because they believed Prophet Muhammad had a direct contact with the all-knowing Allah. Some urgent revelations were necessary but never happened.
Why don't Allah reveal some divine messages to clear things up?
Yes, it has been almost a month, but we heard nothing from Allah and His Messenger.
The lack of revelations was interpreted as a sign that Aisha was guilty, and fueled suspicions about her fidelity. Prophet Muhammad himself must have had his suspicions as well, because he neglected Aisha, who was ill and lodged with her parents for nearly a month.
I have to wait to see if Aisha
It's a really cringed that a lot of musicians, even my favorite rapper Immortal Technique, are pro-Palestine. What's ironic is that they would probably be killed for being musicians. In the Quran, all music genres, singing and instruments are unprohibited in Islam.
Yeah, it's really cringe watching people defend a group of people that would literally have them killed for basically just existing. Immortal Technique's a fucking moron. He made a anti-vegan rap at one point. Thanks for the donation though, Dutchy. Tweako donated $2. And they complain about the West. Show this to Hijab and Sneeko.
Shit, I ain't finna match it. I'ma smoke his blood, but I ain't finna pass it. I'ma smoke the blunt and treat a nigga like a roach. Let it meet me out this.
If you're a Muslim and you smoke, it doesn't make you a bad Muslim. Just because you smoke doesn't mean you're gonna automatically.
तो मैं मनु गुस्सा आ गया बस मैं करूँ पैसे छा के मैं बस बाहर निकल गया.
This area became a place which was drugs were being produced.
Okay, well thanks for that donation, Tweeko.
Got pregnant or not? What if I reveal a verse to exonerate her, only to find out later that she is actually pregnant with Safwan's baby? That would be a nightmare for me, right?
To Prophet Muhammad's relief, Aisha did get her menstruation, and pregnancy ruled out, as was the prospect of his favorite wife being officially named and shamed. After that, Prophet Muhammad visited Aisha at Abu Bakr's house.
This is the time to meet Aisha to reveal the long-awaited divine messages. Oh, Aisha, if you are innocent, then Allah will declare your innocence. But if you have committed a sin, then ask for Allah's forgiveness and repent to Him.
I didn't do anything wrong. I am innocent.
Oh, I got a revelation from Allah to exonerate you, O Aisha. Quran, Surah An-Nur, verse 11. Indeed, those who came with falsehood are a group among you. Do not think it is bad for you, rather, it is good for you. For every person among them is what punishment he has earned from the sin, and he who took upon himself...
Yeah, she probably fucked some other dude. That was too bizarre a set of circumstances. So supposedly, she took so long looking for her necklace that an entire army was able to pack up, leave before she was done searching for this necklace. And she didn't notice them packing up and leaving. And that guy happened to be hanging around. Yeah, she fucked some other dude. How's my little baby Prim Prim? How's my little baby Prim Prim? No.
The greater portion thereof, for him is a great punishment hellfire.
And also verses 12 and 13.
Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you, Your Rasulullah.
3 men and 1 woman claimed they witnessed Aisha commit adultery. After this happened, the Prophet stated a new law in Quran, Surah An-Nur, verse 13, that says it requires for male eyewitnesses to precharge zina against
Namaste Narasivaya Praleda Alada Dain Hiranya Kashipa Vaksahashila Tenkanakale. Eton Risima Paraton Risimho Yato Yamitaton Risima Bahin Risimho Dain Risimhon Risima Madim Sharanam Prapajavakara Kamala Vernakamad Shrin.
I don't speak Spanish, but thanks for the donation, Daniel.
Someone. Failure to bring 4 male eyewitnesses will bring the kadhaf punishment of 80 lashes upon the persons who report the zina. In this case, a woman's testimony is not accepted, and not even counted as half testimony. That is why Prophet Muhammad ordered Muslims to punish Hassan bin Thabit, Mista bin Athantha, and Hamna binti Jahash with 80 lashes each, for reporting the zina accusation.
Muhammad doesn't dare to mention my name in Quran, Surah An-Nur, verse 11, because he knows about my big influence among the Khazraj people. He didn't even dare to give me the 80 lashes punishment.
The requirement of 4 male eyewitnesses to prove zina is almost impossible to fulfill. That is exactly Prophet Muhammad's intention. He could not bear losing his favorite wife. It might not be the case had it been his other wives, particularly Sauda or Salama. Prophet Muhammad knew that Aisha was not completely saved yet, because there is a stoning penalty for zina in Quran. He knew that Aisha had some enemies and those people might use the verse against her in the future. That is why when people asked him to write Quran verse regarding the stoning penalty, the Prophet declined. This hadith explains that Umar ibn al-Khattab came to Prophet Muhammad to ask him to write down the stoning verse for him. The Prophet turned him down by saying he can't do it now. Aisha still had a copy of the Quran stoning verse, but that verse is nowhere to be found in Quran nowadays. How come?
That's
the
pretty
verse of
funny.
stoning and of breastfeeding an adult 10 times was revealed, and the paper was with me under my pillow. When the messenger of Allah died, we were preoccupied with his death, and a tame sheep came in and ate it.
It is strange that such a big animal could enter.
Really? Oh my god, how does anybody take this seriously?
Aisha's room unnoticed, then go under the pillow to find the exact paper to eat, and Aisha knew all of this for sure. It is possible that Aisha destroyed the stoning verse to protect herself. After Prophet Muhammad died, she lost his strong protection. She might have known that her enemies would possibly use the stoning verse to retrial and find her guilty. Therefore, she might destroy the stoning verse herself.
There you have it, folks. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to support Nabi.
Dude, that is insane. Alright. Let's take a look.
Our main story tonight concerns chemicals. Specifically, we're going to be talking. Thankfully, our risk are worse of some terrible cancers. Thankfully, there is good news because we figured out how to dramatically reduce our exposure. It's not what you think, and that's what this episode is all about. Some of you are thinking, wait, what are PFASs, and if they are such a big deal, why haven't I heard about them? Their story is so unbelievable, I don't think you could write it as fiction. It's the subject of a major motion picture starring the Incredible Hulk.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
Also known as Mark Ruffalo. The movie is Dark Waters and also stars Anne Hathaway.
Do you hear yourself? You are acting like a crazy person, tearing up our floor, scaring me half to death. I know it's my job to support you, but that does not mean you get to come into our home, to our family, and tell me that our unborn child is being poisoned. No!
I'm sorry. Can I please explain?
Explain what?
All of it. And if you still think I'm crazy, I'll drop it.
Think Aaron Brockovich.
By the way, we had that water brought in special for you folks. Came from well in Hinckley.
But that was about regional contamination of chromium. PFAS has circled the globe and is now in all of us.
You know, we're now talking about probably one of the biggest environmental contamination stories in history. And most of us still don't know about it.
Wow.
You know, we know about Flint, Michigan,
Yeah.
one water supply, yet here we're talking about something that's in water all over the world, in all of our blood, in animals, polar bears, eagles.
The book about it is called Exposure, and it's by the lawyer you just heard, and it reads like a Grisham legal thriller. It made my list of the 50 most riveting books I've ever read. PFASs are a family of thousands of chemicals invented by man that don't exist in nature. Their properties are miraculous and brought us Teflon pans and Stainmaster carpets.
Don't make a meal without that seal. DuPont, DuPont, DuPont. It ain't no deal without that no-stick seal. Here's what you want. Without these seals, you're out of luck. Don't get stuck.
The most astonishing part of this story, and this is true, the companies that make these chemicals, DuPont and 3M, managed to keep secret how toxic they are for many decades, keeping it from both the EPA and us.
That by the 1960s, DuPont and 3M knew that PFAS could be toxic. That by the 1970s, DuPont and 3M knew that PFAS was indeed building up in the blood of all of us and harming their own workers.
So they were able to dump unimaginable amounts into the ocean, rivers, lakes, and landfills, causing
Namaste Narasivaya Praladalada Dain Hiranya Kashipa Vaxahashila Tenkuiton Risima Paraton Risimho Yato Yato Yamitaton Risima Bahin Risimho Dain Risimhon Risima Madim Sharanam Prapajavakara Kamala Vernakamad Shringam.
I don't speak Spanish, but thanks for the donation, Lord in Kindu.
innumerable deaths of humans and animals. Some of you may know that I was an earth scientist working in water testing in the 80s. You may wonder, how could I and the entire scientific community miss these chemicals and leave it up to a lawyer and farmer to uncover DuPont's dark secret?
I am a corporate defense attorney.
So?
I defend chemical companies.
Fun fact, Mark Ruffalo is pro-Palestine.
Yeah, he's a fucking celebrity, no shit. Fucking clown. Well, thanks for the donation, Bend Over.
Well, now you can defend me.
How many did you lose?
190.
190 cows.
You tell me nothing's wrong here.
For me, I thought these chemicals were inert, so how could they harm anything? They are the most stable organic chemicals known. They don't react with anything, so they're known as forever chemicals because they don't biodegrade. I thought it would be like swallowing sand. Most sand is quartz, so it's so stable it doesn't harm us. But it turns out that PFAS bioaccumulates in our body, binding to proteins like in the liver, kidneys, and our blood, and stays for a very long time. Somehow they wreck our immune system so we can't fight off certain cancers and other horrible diseases. For example, this is how children respond to childhood vaccines like for diphtheria when PFAS levels increase in their blood.
The PFASs here are in the marine food chain. There was a range of concentrations of PFAS and PFOA in the blood of these children. And when the PFAS or PFOA was doubled, when it was increased by a factor of 2, the child would lose 50% of the antibody toward the vaccine, meaning that the child was not responding appropriately, optimally to the vaccination. And the more PFAS and PFOA they had in their blood, the greater the risk that the vaccines had not worked.
Wow.
Over the years, the EPA
That's
kept
crazy.
lowering their levels of what they deemed to be safe, and now this is what they say.
EPA just in March of this year said that there's no safe level of some of these PFAS to ingest. None.
So how do we know for sure how toxic these chemicals are when DuPont and 3M have always denied it?
We do not believe there are any adverse health effects.
What I can say is the weight of scientific evidence does not establish that PFAS causes adverse human health effects.
Turns out there are great heroes in this story like the victims. When they got a settlement from DuPont, this happened.
Generally with the settlement, people just want to be done with it. They want to get their cash, they want to walk. But what happened in the case of C8 was really radically different.
Rather than just take that money provided by DuPont under the settlement and divide it.
Donate $2. Let me see.
Phone, man.
How can I help you?
Hello?
How can I help you?
Oh, I think I might have AIDS. Oh, it hurts.
Do you think you might?
Yeah.
Sorry?
I think I have AIDS.
Have AIDS, you said?
Yeah.
So, are you calling to see about buying the HIV test?
Lionheart, donate $2. I'd smash and never stop. Rate and smash or pass.
Looking at me like I'm some sweet.
No. Thanks for that donation, Lionheart.
Is that for AIDS? Ah!
So, it will check the HIV virus causes AIDS. What state are you in? And I can find it for you.
Oh, I'm actually calling from India.
That is not funny. Don't know why you sent me that.
It up among the class members and walk away. What we decided to do was set up something we called the C8 Science Panel.
That was a sacrifice on the part of the people who had won the money, but it was one that could have turned out paying off for everybody in the world.
DuPont remains confident the test results will prove C8 is safe, but a lot depends on how many take the test.
It's my belief that when DuPont settled this case, they had predetermined that no epidemiological study could be done large enough to ever get a link. And with no link, the jury comes back, you're innocent, and you could never be tried again.
And what we'd said is we've got a group of people that we know have been drinking it for years. We want this independent panel to look at what does this chemical do to these folks and tell us whether there's health effects or there aren't health effects. Both sides had the ability to pick 3 completely independent, world-class epidemiologists. Either side could veto for any reason. So they had to be people that both sides were convinced were unbiased, most world-renowned epidemiologists in the field. We picked that panel, amazingly enough. We were able to get agreement. We picked these 3 panelists. And those panelists were told to look at all of the data that's out there, not just published peer-reviewed articles, most of which had been by the industry at that point, but also the internal documents that had not been published, but also very...
Frank has some new shorts, can we please watch? Also, please check out this muscle mommy. I'd clap dem cheeks so damn hard, my pee-pee is so hard and I have blue balls right now. Smash or pass?
We can't watch any of Frank's stupid shorts because there's no volume, so yeah, we can't watch it. Thanks for that donation though, Small Penis Energy. Smash or pass? Oh god. She's pretty. Not really my type, but she's pretty. PP Poo Poo Bum Bum donated $2. Let me see.
This beat is on fire. Supply and demand productions.
Bricks in the attic, set me automatic. I dare that nigga to run up on me, I hit him up with that static. Always look up in your rear view mirror to make sure that them fuck nigga coast is clear. Niggas hating on me cause I probably took they hoe. You fucking with me on my squad, you get a bullet.
Nice. Thanks for the donation, PP Poo Poo Bum Bum.
Very critically, that panel was given the ability to do their own study of the community.
The problem is when you ask people to volunteer for a study, not many people are going to show up. And so who's going to do this?
We want to get this thing up and running because the momentum was there, the case had been settled. So we put a lot of information out in ads and pamphlets.
I think you will feel better if you watch this. Start the video 040. Never told me how you felt about the upcoming Veganism Exposed 1 hour long video that trolls you. Isn't that super duper cool?
I don't know what you're talking about. I might actually dig it. I'll listen to that later. Thanks for the donation, dude.
You name it, every type of meat that we could get our hand, we flooded the market.
Healthy drinking water is vital to all of us. That's why scientists need to know if the chemical C8 causes any health problems. By completing a health questionnaire and having your blood tested, you can help. And you may be paid up to $400. To get started, call 1-800-608.
We ended up also using that money to pay class members to come in and have their blood tested for PFOA and to provide access to their medical information.
Virtually the entire...
What would you do in this situation?
Well, I would take that kitty home with me, obviously. Thanks for the donation, Richard is so gay and stupid.
Our affected population, estimated at 70,000 people, participated.
They designed the most world-class studies that have ever been done on a pollutant. They designed 12 different studies. They ended up getting data from 69,000 people. They spent 7 years. What other chemical do you have this kind of information about? The science is unequivocal now. And in 2012, they said that there was a link between drinking this in the water and 6 different diseases: kidney cancer, testicular cancer, ulcerative colitis, thyroid disease, preeclampsia, and high cholesterol.
So the science panel resulted in numerous publications that really laid the foundation for what we now know about the relationship between PFAS exposure and the potential for adverse health effects.
And in some ways, it becomes
Smash or pass.
Well, it is a nice pig. She isn't too bad either. Thanks for that donation, Dead James.
a mistake to focus on that one very large first study, because since then, multiple other studies have looked at similar outcomes and other outcomes in many other populations around the world. For example, there are now more than 15 studies showing links to cholesterol, more than 5 showing links to abnormal higher liver functions and uric acid, and 3 different populations, to my knowledge, that pregnancy-induced hypertension has been denoted. Other studies completely addressed the relationship between exposure to the 2 most common PFAS and diminished response to vaccines and other aspects of immune downregulation, which at this point is one of the most certain outcomes of health exposure and also obviously one of general public health concern. In addition to that, Dr. Rogers has mentioned reproductive outcomes such as the inevitability of transplacental transport and transport by breastfeeding to newborns, so that most infants and young children have higher PFAS serum concentrations than their mothers.
I have to say, in the few months that I've been studying PFAS, it's been such a wonderful break to interface with environmental chemists and toxicologists. I didn't see all the drama and misinformation that plagues nutrition. They're solid scientists, usually without a profit motive or some emotional attachment to a favorite diet. And they understand epidemiology. They have to. They can't do randomized trials on lead and asbestos and PCBs. But we still must know whether these chemicals are causal of disease. Don't get me wrong, nutrition has great scientists. They're just not the ones writing pop best-selling books. Food giants have done a brilliant job of shaking the public's confidence in epidemiology, from Coca-Cola to the beef industry. Coke isn't linked to pancreatic cancer, don't you know? Those are just observational studies. Weak sauce. Nutrition scientists who understand epidemiology didn't fall for that, but many pop book authors with little background in epidemiology were easy prey for food company disinformation. Understanding epidemiology does take a strong understanding of statistics and big data, and few nutrition influencers have that. I have many friends at Google, and I watched them crush other search engines, even though they were late to the game, because they understood better than anyone how to extract signal from noise in big, confounded data. For non-scientists who want an example of how statistics can be so powerful and yet so not intuitive, I give you Brad Pitt.
He gets on base.
We are card counters at the blackjack table. We're going to turn the odds on the casino.
You're discounting what scouts have done for 150 years?
What is happening in Oakland? It defies everything we know about baseball.
Just plain crazy.
Moneyball is the story of how statistics would prove the best professional scouts and managers wrong, win the World Series, and revolutionize baseball.
The game is really smart. In fact, I would say that baseball has become one of the most intelligent industries in the world, in my opinion. And you see it now with the use of analytics. The people who are running baseball teams are much different than when I started.
So what gave the C8 panel study high enough statistical power to infer with a high degree of confidence causality for those 6 conditions despite the big confounders of diet and lifestyle? It had to stand up in court despite the expert witnesses that DuPont paid to cast doubt. Number 1, 70,000 people. Number 2, 7 years. Number 3, the high incidence of disease, which provided a lot of cases. Number 4, the number of study participants who had been exposed even longer than 7 years. Number 5, the 12 other studies they did. I could go on. So how do you and I get exposed? Is water really the main pathway? Because that's what's in all the headlines. Environmental chemists and toxicologists may have been late to the game due to DuPont's dark secret, but you know who's still oblivious? nutrition scientists, even the ones I deeply respect. To Ken Berry's credit, he recently did an episode on PFAS focused on water and clothes, but no mention of food. MedCram did a well-informed episode worth watching, but also nothing about food. It was environmental chemist Lydia Jall who got me to do this episode. So, Lydia, you have a PhD in chemistry.
I do.
And she brought in Kyla Bennett, who used to work at the EPA.
I decided to go straight to law school after getting my PhD, and then I actually worked at EPA for 10 years before I came to Pure.
They bombarded me with papers from toxicology journals, and this one had a table that really caught my attention. It's a list of different studies and how they estimated the exposure pathways of PFAS. The column on the left lists 2 PFAS chemicals, a small
Whoa, diet is way fucking higher.
Sample of the thousands of others that exist but haven't been studied as thoroughly yet. What jumps out at me is how big a role food plays. To me, food looks like the elephant in the room at...
Ready to twerk?
Yeah, we'll twerk soon. I just want to watch this for a few more minutes. Thanks for the donation, James.
At least 70% of the problem. This seems like really good news for people who are willing and able to adjust their diets. I thought water or exposure to skin would have a bigger impact than these studies show. Kyla and Lydia did caution me, though, that non-food exposure can have big impacts, such as for ski waxers.
Unfortunately, many commonly used waxes contain per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, PFAS, which are then released into the air, water, and snow near ski and snowboard areas, posing health risks to humans and wildlife. The famed ski town of Park City, Utah, home to the largest ski resort in the United States, recently banned fluorinated wax after PFAS were found in groundwater wells. For skiers and snowboarders, exposure to harmful chemicals in wax and cleaning solvents might be a bigger concern than previously known, according to new research.
Those skiers don't realize that their PFAS ends up in people's water wells. And how does it get into our food? Brace yourselves. Before the farmer and the lawyer exposed DuPont's dark secret, wastewater facilities didn't know about PFAS. They have the problem with solids left after treatment. So they sold waste solids cheap to farmers as fertilizer. Seemed like a good idea at the time. The problem is the forever chemicals in the wastewater they didn't know about survived the treatment. Kyla explains. First, biosolids have massive amounts of PFAS. It's from everything we wash down the drain. Think about it. You wash your makeup off and the PFAS in the makeup goes down the drain. Your non-stick pans are washed. Your clothing with PFAS is washed. You wash your PFAS-laden carpets and put that water down the drain. I could go on forever. And this brings up another tragedy of forever chemicals.
This is all I've ever done. It's all I've wanted. It was all taken away from me in one swoop. A big business dumping PFAS down the drain.
Why in God's green earth would you want to sell something that you know is contaminated? I had one person, honest to God, told me, well, you know, Freddie, you screwed up. All you had to do was keep your mouth shut.
We knew right away it was the biosolids, that was the culprit of where everything was coming from. Biosolids were a great fertilizer source for us to go along with the operation.
When they were found on Grostick's land more than a year ago, Michigan regulators shut down his farm and ordered a seizure notice. He's now barred.
Kalua, Donatellers, do you see any issue with pursuing a career path that you have zero passion for and just doing it for money lifestyle it provides? Depends on the individual, depends on how much you're benefiting from it, depends how much of a problem you have doing it. So it really just depends. Thanks for the donation though, Kalua.
From selling his meat indefinitely.
As the cows ingest the feed and they drink the water, it gets into the cows themselves and it translates into the milk.
The presence of these chemicals in the milk caused Stone to lose his dairy license, leaving his third-generation family business in ruins.
The farmers had nothing to do with that. They didn't even know what PFAS was. And no regulator wants to destroy somebody's dreams like that. But what are they supposed to do? Let the food go to market and destroy kids' immune systems and give adults kidney cancer? Fortunately, those farms are in Michigan and Maine, and those states have aid packages for farmers, but they still can't compensate. And if you're thinking, I knew Chris was going to go there with a channel named Plant Chompers, you knew he was going to diss meat and dairy. Let me set the record straight on that right now, because I give you Dr. Christopher Higgins, a distinguished professor at Colorado School of Mines, who's done a lot of research on that.
It can accumulate, some of the chemicals can accumulate in fish. Other sorts of these chemicals can accumulate in things like plants. And so depending on which compound you're looking at, you can have exposure through your meat or dairy or fish. And others you might actually observe more through a plant-based diet.
Okay, so being a vegetarian does not mean I'm excluded from PFAS.
Correct.
I spent days reading studies about what produce contains PFAS and ended up staring at charts like this. Who knows why the particular strawberries they checked were high in Belgium, but nowhere else in Europe? Ditto for pears from the Czech Republic. Before I go on, you may notice a whole variety of units from the papers I'm citing and wonder why. Actually, George Washington explained it.
Because we are free men, and we will be free to measure liquids in liters and milliliters, but not all liquids, only soda, wine, and alcohol.
Only those, sir.
Yes, because for milk and paint, we will use gallons, pints, and quarts, God willing.
Okay. How many liters are in a gallon, sir?
Nobody knows.
The most common units in the U.S. are parts per trillion with a T. It is really hard to visualize parts per trillion. The EPA says on its website that a part per billion with a B is one drop in a residential swimming pool. They say 1 part per trillion.
It's the real Lionheart. Have you ever thought about growing your own food and going off-grid like Gaz Oakley? That's what I want to do at some point. BTW, have you considered looking into medications that help with the GABA system?
No, I haven't. I'm gonna get an appointment with a psychiatrist in, I think, 5 months at the latest. So they're gonna talk about what medications I should be on and crap like that. But thanks for the donation, Lionheart. Oh yeah, and I wouldn't want to live off-grid, but making some of my own food might be good. Thanks for the donation, though, Lionheart. I have a cat here. It's a good cat. I like this cat.
Of course, those cows are being raped and then being sold for meat. However, bioaccumulating is always higher in animal products than in plants.
Yep. True. It's hard for me to believe that any particular type of PFAS would have a higher tendency to bioaccumulate in plants given the same environment. But thanks for the donation, James.
Trillion is 1 drop among 20 Olympic-sized pools. A part per trillion is on the edge of detectability, but the EPA now says even that is too high. So what is a testing official to do?
Those fish are really kind of the canary in the coal mine, so to speak.
We met Summer Streets up north in Duluth. She's a research scientist for Minnesota's Pollution Control Agency.
If we just sample water, a lot of times we will get non-detects, and so we may not know if there's an issue with PFAS in the fish, but because the fish accumulate PFAS to a great degree, we get a better idea of the actual condition of the water body.
The good news is parts per trillion is the same as the other units you commonly see, 1 nanogram per liter or 1 nanogram per kilogram. The metric system is awesome that way, so it's not like Fahrenheit and centigrade.
We should have 2 different unrelated scales of temperature. One of them will make sense to the entire world, and the other will be super random. Our great nation will use the random one.
What is the scale called, sir?
Fahrenheit.
Spell that for me?
Impossible.
So it turns out there are a few reasons why PFAS levels in produce vary all over the place. Here's the first.
The state is in the process of doing research
to try to figure out kind of safe levels. So they've set them for some things. They've set it for beef. They've set it for chickens. For some odd reason, it pulls up into leafy greens easier than it does into like fruits. So if you have a tomato plant, you might find it in the leaves, but it wouldn't be as much in the tomato. But if you grow kale or lettuce in PFAS-contaminated land, it shows up in that stuff in much higher levels. So they're trying to figure out why that is. And part of that research is to look to see how they can help the farmers with the impacted land pivot to maybe growing something else that does not uptake the PFAS as much.
Fascinating. I followed up on that, and here's what she's saying. Research suggests that crops such as asparagus, corn, potatoes, rhubarb, squash, and tomatoes could still be grown on farms with PFAS contamination. For some crops like corn, this is because the stalk absorbs the PFAS, but the kernels we eat do not. But other crops like lettuce, arugula, carrots, and spinach seem to absorb and store PFAS. Another is farms located near facilities that use firefighting foams like airports do. They are loaded with PFAS. It is impossible to get your head around how many sites that could be contaminated with PFAS. Remember the Michigan farm that had to be shut down? That contamination was traced to a chrome plating plant, which sent PFAS down the drain to a local wastewater treatment plant.
We predicted that in the U.S., there's over 53,000 sites that have contamination. In fact, we think that's a very conservative number, and it's probably many more.
So that brings up the most important question: what foods absorb the most PFAS if they are exposed? Well, I have to modify some things I've said about how fish may be healthy in modest amounts, because freshwater fish in America is nasty, especially around the Great Lakes. An environmental working group study revealed that eating one freshwater fish equals a whole month of drinking tainted forever chemicals water. That headline puts math to the point that while drinking contaminated water is bad, eating contaminated food can be much worse. It's taking much longer to pollute our oceans with PFAS and get them to the levels of our freshwater lakes and streams in America because the oceans are so huge. But the FDA recently made a statement about seafood that wasn't exactly confidence-inspiring. They said the data on PFAS in seafood is still very limited. However, our testing indicates that seafood may be at higher risk for environmental PFAS contamination compared to other types of food.
Do you know what's the longest time you could keep refrigered cooked frozen broccoli without it losing too much nutrients over time?
I have no idea. I wouldn't be able to answer that question. No fucking clue. Thanks for the donation though, Sean.
Foods. Speaking of the FDA, they have a program to measure the PFAS levels in various kinds of foods. Here is some of their data collected on contaminated farms. The first thing to notice is the levels in collards and kale in particular are too high. But the levels from dairy are crazy high. They're insane.
Whoa, yeah, holy shit.
Note that dairy was high in a type of PFAS called PFOS, but produce had mostly PFOA. So many acronyms. A doctor asked me, but weren't both discontinued years ago and we've seen levels of both of them dropping in Americans? That is true, but they started making substitutes. There's now something like 5,000 of them, including the popular one, Gen X. But the US EPA deems 2 Gen X PFAS chemicals more toxic than PFOA.
And so what happens is we don't follow the precautionary principle. We allow companies to put these chemicals in commerce. And then if we, the scientists, find out it's harmful, they take it out. But what happens is they often replace the toxic chemical with a chemical cousin that's just as toxic. And we call this chemical whack-a-mole. And it's this never-ending game that's been played for decades. It happens all the time, and we sometimes call it regrettable substitution is the less playful name for it. But it's another name I don't like, because it implies whoops, we made a mistake. It's a regrettable substitution. Whoops.
Unfortunately, most tests only measure about 16 of those chemical cousins. But when they do, this is what they find.
We found that...
This is the chat in real life.
Starting the music in 3, 2, 1. Keep shaking your head and keep bouncing to the next step.
I did link up with them through Crusade. I've been working with my mom's dance group for around 7 years now, and we've been holding fundraisers via Crusade to help kids with special needs, but I wanted to branch out, do something on my own.
Roll back. Other side. 2, 1. 2,
It is a blast.
1, 2, 1, 2.
I've been in dance like a while.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ballroom dancing is good.
All right, so left, right.
Dance has been the core of who I am as a person.
It's good to know. Thanks for the donation, Booty Cum.
PFAS detections are doubling globally in breast milk every 4 years.
The whack-a-mole game has 5 moles. The PFAS game has 5,000.
Here we come, the whack-a-moles popping out of our holes. Sorry, pal, you can't catch me.
To whack one PFAS mole takes years of scientific research, and then you have to take the chemical companies to court, only to have them tell the jury, didn't these scientists know that correlation doesn't equal causation? Back to food, as crazy as the levels of PFAS were in dairy from contaminated farms, the levels of PFAS in freshwater fish in America are crazy plus plus. What this graphic is trying to show is it only takes 4 servings of average freshwater fish to almost double the levels of PFOS in your blood compared to the average American, whose PFOS levels are already unsafe. That's if you're lucky and got average fish. If you're unlucky, it only takes 1 serving. What other foods did the FDA test? I'll provide links in the description, but ocean-going fish was way better than freshwater fish. For example, this is some wild cod from various countries. Some of the samples were below the minimum detectable limit, but that wasn't fully comforting because the FDA's instruments were not very sensitive. A few samples were at the level of kale grown on contaminated farms. Tilapia and salmon fared better than cod for some reason, but again from instruments with a high minimum detectable limit. The bad news is shellfish were nuts, like freshwater fish in America. Here are the numbers from clams.
Yeah, Jesus, holy fuck. Might not be a good idea to eat bivalves.
Insane. Crabs and lobster were bad too.
I tested lobsters in Massachusetts. Horrifying levels of PFAS, to the point where it's dangerous to have one lobster dinner.
Also nuts, liver. Here's a warning from Wisconsin for deer sampled near an old military base. It's a do not eat advisory for deer liver in that area. They said the muscle meat in those deer had much lower levels of PFAS. I saw so many warnings about liver that I bought popular liver supplements to send out to test. The Liver King claims to have sold $100 million worth of liver supplements in a year. I'm testing several other things like PFAS levels in my blood and my wife Tony's. And when the tests come back, I'll post another episode with the results, no matter what the outcomes are. Processed and fast food seem to have the next highest levels of PFAS after fish, dairy, and beef. Of course, they contain fish, dairy, and beef, but it's thought that some of their PFAS comes from the wrappers and pizza boxes that are coated with PFAS to avoid water and grease stains. The PFOA and PFOS are being phased out of that packaging, but they're being replaced by their chemical cousins, which are also proving to be hazardous. So what about plants? This shouldn't be a diatribe issue because we're all getting a significant amount of our PFAS from plants, either directly or secondhand through animals. The European Food Safety Authority reported modeling where forages like grass and alfalfa represented 78% of PFAS exposure in ruminants, while soil accounted for more than 80% in outdoor poultry, eggs, and pigs. We should all be concerned about the levels of PFAS we're seeing in plants, but why are they so much lower than we're seeing in fish, dairy, and meat? I asked Lydia. We were talking about pesticides at that moment, but the same principle applies.
Where does your chicken or your cow get all its muscle and flesh that you're eating? It's eating even higher volumes of plants than you might eat. And then those pesticides will bioaccumulate in the cow, and then you eat the cow. So it's the same story of bioaccumulation with PFAS in fish, for example.
To put some numbers to what she's saying, for every 100 calories of grain fed to farmed animals, you only get 40 calories of milk, 22 calories of eggs, 12 calories of chicken, 10 calories of pork, and 3 calories of beef. And for some tragic reason, the bioaccumulation factor is high in milk.
The breast milk comes from 10 women who are breastfeeding their first child and who live within a radius of 7 kilometers around Chemours.
Speaking of bioaccumulation...
That's interesting. Dietary fiber reduces PFAS. concentrations in serum.
I got curious about uptake from different foods. This paper concluded the concentration of several PFAS.
Let's play a game. Who am I? Hi VG, how's your mood today? Up for some twerking? What's his weight? What's his height? Should I use toilet paper to wipe my bum? VG? Any new Frankie vids? Also, I could send you the link of the video, make it easier, but no.
You would have to be either Sam or James Wade. Thanks for the donation, Bootycom.
Phase in blood appears to be reduced by dietary fiber. Another thing is, when exposed to PFAS contamination, all animals bioaccumulate it, whereas many staple crops like corn and potatoes do not. I don't know how many of us are getting a lot of calories from greens, unlike cows who love alfalfa and grass. I'll link an interesting paper about sheep who became contaminated from grass. There are a few studies comparing vegan PFAS levels with omnivores, like this one from a German Food Safety Institute. Among the 72 people in that study, vegans were somewhat lower than omnivores, averaging 6.4 nanograms per milliliter as opposed to 7.6 in their blood. My interpretation is the results were influenced by the crazy high PFAS levels of 7 vegans who had been vegan for less than 5 years. It takes years for PFAS levels to reduce in the body. There is no 10-day detox for PFAS. But after 5 or 10 years, there were no vegans in the study with crazy high levels. The authors produced a...
Well, that's good. I've been vegan for 13 years, so that should keep me safe, I think.
Fascinating heat map of where 4 different PFASs were coming from for all the study participants. They included 2 PFASs.
Can you please finish up reacting to Frank Tufano's blog and stop watching this boring shit? Maybe the reason you keep losing subs is that you are really bad at doing what your audience wants you to do instead of watching boring shit.
Yes. Thanks for the donation, Spank Giuffano.
As we haven't talked about. Big dots mean big contributions. Blue dots correlate with lower PFAS levels. So fruit was moderately associated with lower levels of 2 PFASs and moderately higher levels of 2 others. Water was a big contributor for PFOA. When you add the items omnivores were eating, you see more big red dots. These Berliners weren't eating much seafood, so meat and meat products were bigger for them than seafood. Eggs didn't seem to be much of a factor, although they can be when the chickens are raised on fish meal. Wildlife that eat higher in the food chain also have higher PFAS levels. The carnivores with crazy high levels are marine mammals, and they are having a terrible impact on coastal communities that depend on them.
We have no production of chemicals.
Okay, that's fascinating. Wow. That's a good cat. Where the fuck was the... Am I going insane? Did you hear about the completionist charity scandal? Yeah. Sounds like he was just pocketing money for a while. Not terribly surprising, I guess. But it's pretty fucked up.
You talked like this, it'd be hilarious.
Unlock the thing! Take the chain off!
Hey, Freak Joe! You're going nowhere! I got you for 3 minutes! 3 minutes of playtime!
Macho Man Randy Savage was a pretty funny guy. Thanks for that donation, Lionheart. Alright, let's do this.